Mr. Puneet and Lay. Puneet, can you please unmute your mic? He's Mr. Puneet. Puneet is actually the sales vice president of Kairali Group. And
hello, Puneet. I think he's muted. No.
Puneet will be coming in a while.
Sure,
Okay.
no issues.
So Rishabh would be coordinating the session, and he will initially introduce both of us. And as discussed earlier, while transitioning up, the initially 3, 4, 5 slides are of Ayurveda part. When we will transit to your slide, I will just again have a brief introduction of yours, and then you can take over, ma'am.
Noted. Thank you, sir. Yeah. So I'll go off video and audio and get in whenever needed.
Sure,
Yeah.
ma'am. Sure. ऋषभ यूट्यूब का लिंक भेज देना प्लीज.
भेज रहा हूँ. भेज दिया, चैट में भेजा. हाँ, आ गया. अच्छा, आ गए. मिल गई. कर दिया, तुमको प्रमोट कर दिया. कोई बात नहीं. Hello everyone, good afternoon. I can see a lot of people are joining in. I would really request everyone to just circulate the Zoom ID. This is a webinar ID which is 828-3187-8274. They can join directly. I would really request if you can share it within your friends and networks. We will start the webinar in the next 6 minutes. Hello everyone. This webinar is going to be a very good webinar, and I'm sure everybody knows about the topic. So we will be covering on the management of obesity from Ayurvedic, Pathya and modern dietetics with the integration of the future medicine. So this will be a very interactive, a great interactive session. We have a very good keynote speaker who will be adding a lot of value, a lot of nuggets in terms of dietaries, nutrition, management of obesity. Uh, just share this Zoom ID with everyone so that everybody can join and gain some great knowledge from this webinar. I'm sure everybody will be able to learn a lot of things and use it within their own life, business, clinic, uh, anywhere they are doing the practice, Ayurvedic practice. I see people are coming in. I would really request everybody to share the Zoom ID. The Zoom ID is 828-3187-8274. This is the Zoom ID. Actually, the topic that we are covering is a prominent topic, and nowadays these solutions are very important to control weight, to reduce obesity. It's very important to have solutions and live a healthy lifestyle. We will just start the webinar in the next 3 minutes. I would like to repeat again, please share the Zoom ID 828-3187-8274. The Zoom ID, anybody can join directly from in the Zoom ID. Dr. Sachin, we can start now. People are coming in because it's already 3:10. So I believe we should start now.
Yes, Rishabh, please. Rishabh, please, you can start.
People still are joining in, but let's let people join. Let not wait the other. Keep the people waiting have already joined in.
Yes, please.
So let's start the webinar. And namaste, everyone. My name is. I warmly welcome you all to this virtual CME in Ayurveda management organized by Kerala Ayurvedic Group. So allow me to introduce myself. I am Rishabh Gupta. I am Vice President Marketing of Kerala Ayurvedic Group. So hope everyone is able to see my video and hear my voice. I just want to understand if you can hear my voice. Just give me a thumbs up, give me a yes, give me, if everybody can hear my voice, can see me. Fantastic, great. Let's do a short poll by introducing ourselves. I'm going to launch a poll, a short poll with small questions where I would like to understand where you're from, what is your profession, if you have attended the virtual CME of Kerala initially. I would like to everyone to just do a small poll on the screen, which is coming on your screen. I will be really glad to see the participation, to know where people are from. Let's introduce each other. Great. A lot of people from Maharashtra, from Kerala. That's great. A lot of people from outside India. Oh, fantastic. Great. From Bihar, from Uttar Pradesh, from Rajasthan, from Delhi NCR. That's so nice. I see a great people, great participation. Thank you so much. A lot of Ayurvedic doctors. Oh, great. Students have also come. Oh, fantastic. That's a great platform for students to learn. A lot of retailers, pharmacists. I see a lot of people coming here for the first time. That's nice. That's nice. I'm grateful for you all to come and attend this webinar. I'm really glad to see such participation. I'm sure you will be able to. Everybody will be able to learn a lot of new things from this webinar. Great. We'll just do the poll in the. We'll just finish it up in the next 10 seconds. I would really request if everybody can. I see only 70% have filled up the poll. I see a lot of doctors from Delhi. That's nice. That's nice. Great. So I will just finish up this poll. And thank you so much for filling this up. So I'll just continue. So I really thank you so much for participating in this virtual CME. The CME is especially for Ayurvedic doctors, students, professors, and the entire Ayurveda fraternity. We received tremendous, very good response, and I'm really grateful for you all to join this virtual CME. And a lot of you are well aware of Kerala Ayurvedic Group. So I just want to give you a brief about Kerala so that we all have to be on the same page and you'll get to understand about the group and know more about the group. So Kerala Ayurvedic Group is a 111 years old Ayurvedic brand, manufacturing more than 900 SKUs that comprises of traditional medicines, proprietary medicines, cosmetics, herbal teas, and many more. So Kerala is on a mission to spread Ayurveda across the globe, and I want you all to be part of this mission. So this mission is fixed. So I want you all, this mission Ayurveda, this on every webinar, this is the mission that we want to spread Ayurveda across. So let's type in the chat box. If everybody is with me, let's type mission Ayurveda in the chat box. Let's see the people, let's see all the interest. Let's see who all wants to spread Ayurveda across. So let's type mission Ayurveda. Oh, fantastic. Great. So delighted, like everybody wants to spread Ayurveda. Everybody wants to spread Ayurveda across the world. That's great. Dr. Ashwin, Dr. Sachin, Dr. Firoz, Dr. Ashok, very good, doctor. I'm so delighted that everybody wants to spread Ayurveda across the globe. So let's continue with this. This webinar will run approximately 5 to 5:30, and I want you all to stay with us till the end of this webinar. We have a lot of surprises, a lot of things, a lot of insights to share with you all. Our speaker of this webinar will share a lot of valuable information that really can't be missed out. So I request you all to please put all your notifications on silent mode. And I will just run through a brief agenda on the webinar on the CME today. So we will be so we have a speaker, Dr. Geeta Dharmati and Dr. Sachin Ribar. So Dr. Geeta, who is a registered dietitian and clinical nutritionist, she is the director and founder of Geeta NutriHeal Consultancy. She is the chief nutrigenomic counselor. She is the executive member of Indian Dietetic Association. And we have Dr. Sachin, who is the director and founder of Karayu Healthcare Private Limited. He is a senior practitioner and trainer and a certified cannabis doctor. He is a business consultant with more than 20 years of experience, collectively treated more than 200,000 patients and trained more than 2,000 doctors. Fantastic. So I have experienced people, experienced people who can bring a lot of insights, a lot of information. We will also have a Q&A session where everybody can pose their questions, and our team will pick out the best questions. And because since we have a time constraint, we will answer all your majority of the questions. If something is left out, you can fill up the form and you can share that question, and we can get the answers for you. We'll do a briefing on Kerala Ayurvedic products, which will be done by Mr. Puneet Endle, who is the Vice President Sales. And we will also have a lot of surprises where we will be announcing where you'll be getting a lot of participation certificates, whoever attend. So this is the brief agenda. So now I would like to pass on to Dr. Sachin, who will be taking this forward and giving you more details and insights on how we are proceeding ahead with this CME. Over to you, Dr. Sachin.
Thank you, Rishabh. Thank you very much. And namaste, dosto. I welcome you all and to this great platform which Kairali Ayurveda has provided us, so that we all can gather together and have an interaction, have some discussion, have some insights on subject. So today's subject is very, very important subject. That is obesity, Medoroga, or Sthaulya, or Sthul. This is because now we see that this era, today's era, again we are in the process of reviving Ayurveda science. There was a golden period some centuries ago when Ayurveda was on its top, it was flourishing. And it was the major medical science which was catering to the needs of people, to the common man. But somewhere it got lost during the period of industrialization and development. Somewhere we had lost our roots of Ayurveda. Now again it is on the course of revival. I hope everyone, we all have heard the speech of Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi ji on 15th of August from the Red Fort. He had specifically emphasized on the coming future of Ayurveda and revival of Ayurveda. He had stressed upon the use of Ayurveda science for the betterment of mankind and the society. So, friends, we are here to discuss something. We are not here to deliver any lecture or something. We are here to discuss. I would request everyone. I'm not a great scholar or something. I request everyone, whatsoever your doubts or questions or opinions or suggestions, please put forth in the Q&A section so that we can get some knowledge from your side and vice versa. Honorable Prime Minister and the Health Ministry and all the great physicians and doctors of the country had emphasized that integration is the future of medical science. Integration means the combination of two sciences, be it Ayurveda or homeopathy, be it allopathic or homeopathy, be it Unani or allopathic, or be it Unani and Ayurveda, or Ayurveda and modern concept, modern science, or the combination of all together, that is integration. It is definitely for sure that integration is the future of medical field, because no single science is complete in itself. We do have limitations. हमारे आयुर्वेद में भी limitations हैं. Allopathic science में भी limitations are there. Homeopathy, Unani, all sciences have got their limitations. But when combine, जब हम उनको combine करते हैं, when we combine all sciences, we will overcome those limitations for achieving the single goal of treating the diseases of mankind and protecting the health of mankind. Swastasya swasthya rakshanam, aturasya vikara prashmanam. That is the motto of our science. That we need to protect the health of a healthy person and to cure the disease of the diseased person. How do we do that? This can be achieved by the integration of the science. I would request Rishabh, if you can please share the PPT so that we can move on further.
Yes, doctor.
So, friends, today's topic is obesity. I always say to all my known people, known friends, circle, community, people, society, that we are progressive society. India is a progressive country. We are progressing very fast. We are progressing when we are moving towards becoming economic superpower of the world. This is our positive progress. One more progress is there. That is our negative progress. We are becoming the disease capital of the world. Already we are diabetic capital of the world. हम लोग पूरे संसार में सबसे ज्यादा डायबिटीज के मरीज, रोगी हमारे देश में हैं. We are the diabetic capital. And by 2025, we would be becoming the capital of lifestyle diseases. Lifestyle diseases means all those diseases which arise due to our food habits and lifestyle. And primarily that includes obesity, hypertension, cardiovascular disorders, digestive disorders, piles, fissure, fistula, depression, anxiety, stress. Yeah, we would be becoming the capital of all these lifestyle disorders by the year 2025. That is our progress. That is our negative progress, what we are going to attain by the year 2025. So it is our duty as the part of medical fraternity. It is our duty towards the society to tell them, to teach them, to make them aware how can we stop the progression of this negative progress to become the capital of lifestyle disorders? I always say obesity, Medo Roga, is the mother of all lifestyle diseases. The mother of all lifestyle diseases is obesity, Medo Roga. Now, friends, we are fortunate that we have Dr. Geeta Dharmati with us today. She is a very renowned nutritionist. She was associated with Indian Dietetic Associations. She was the president of Indian Dietetic Association Pune chapter. She has integrated the course on integrated dietetics and a guest faculty at Symbiosis Institute of Health Science. She is an adjunct professor at Tilak Maharashtra University for Nutrition Department. She is a strategist and developer of nutrogenomics. It's a new concept in the field of nutrition, that is nutrogenomics. Nutrition with the genetics. So we have got such an eminent personality today. We will be taking insight from her for the management of obesity, that is Medoroga or Atisthaulia. With the Pathya and Apatya, what has been mentioned in Ayurveda, we will be clubbing and we will be understanding the modern concepts of nutrition, dietetics, how to manage this pandemic, that is obesity. Prayah sarve roganam suttaram udarani cha. Usually all the disorders, all the diseases are caused by abdomen, that is digestion. That was said centuries ago. Now we need to add one more terminology to it, that is Praya sarve roganam mano udarani cha. All the diseases are caused by manasik, manobhavas and udara, that is our digestion or indigestion. So next slide please. So friends, we have Ashtanindita Purusha mentioned in Ayurveda. So have you thought about it? In Charak Chikitsa, we have got reference of Ashtanindita Purushas. So I was wondering while going to this, that out of this Ashtanindita, we have only the Chikitsa aspect of only two Purushas have we mentioned, that is Ati Sthulascha, Ati Krishascha, that is obesity and emaciation. In this Ashta Nindita Purusha, it is not Nindita from our end, it is the Nindita from the society. The people doesn't like them. The people, the society doesn't have respect for them. Those are called as Ashta Nindita. Those Ashta Nindita Purusha are Ati Dirghasya, that is too tall, or you can take it as gigantism. Ati Lomascha or dwarfism. So, Ati Hrishvascha. Hrishvascha means short-heighted, that is dwarfism. Ati Lomascha can be taken as hypertrichosis or Cantu syndrome. Alomascha, that is vitiligo universalis, wherein there are no lomas over the body. Ati Krishnascha, that is too blackish in color, Acanthus nigricanis. Ati Gaurascha, albinism. Ati Sthulascha and Ati Krishascha. These two, we have got the treatment aspect of Ati Sthulascha and Ati Krishascha, because the great scientists, Acharya Charak, Acharya Shushrut, Acharya Vagvat, Madhav Nidan, Yogratnakar, Bhava Prakash, Vaishajya Ratnavalis, all these great sages, they were aware that the previous to these two were all genetic issues that cannot be cured. So they had focused on obesity and Ati Krishasya, emaciation, because that was manageable. And obesity, as I said before earlier, friends, is the mother of all lifestyle disorders. So we can move to next slide, please. So today we will discuss about Ati Sthulasya, that is obesity. So friends, Med Dhatu, Med is the causative factor. So there are two types of Meda, Abhaddha Meda and Baddha Meda. We all are aware about it. Abhaddha Meda is static, Baddha Meda is static Meda. Static means which cannot be moved, which is not movable. It is static. The Baddha Meda is the med which is visible from the naked eyes. We can chala spika udara sthanana. That is udara, sphic, buttocks, sthan, the chest, abdominal. The fat which is visible, that is Baddha Meda. Visceral fat, omental fat, muscular fat, the fat which is deposited of the muscles. Another is Abhaddha Meda. Abhaddha Meda means the movable fat which is into the circulation, that can be considered as the lipids, cholesterol, triglycerides, low density lipoprotein, very low density lipoprotein, HDL, etc. So that is Abhaddha Meda. So both these Medas are responsible for lifestyle disorders. We will move to next slide. Now, what is the concept of lipids in Ayurveda? Medoroga. There are two types of Medas, Med Dhatu, that is Poshak and Poshya. We all know about it. Meda is Snehamsha. See, when there is whatsoever we take, the food items, when it gets metabolized by the Jatragni, it converts it into two parts, Snehamsha and Kittamsha. We know about it. Snehamsha and Kittamsha. Kittamsha means the Mala Bhag. Snehamsha means the Poshan Bhag, the Poshak Bhag, the nourishing part, which nourishes the Uttar Dhatus. So why it is called as Snehamsha? Because it contains some Sneha in it. So it's called as Snehamsha. It is a Poshaka, nutrient. Another one is Poshya Meda, that is Abhaddha Meda, which is to be nourished. Meda Dhatu is Poshya. Poshaka is the circulatory Meda. Poshaka Med Dhatu is Gati Yukta, which provide nourishment to the all Uttar Dhatu, that is Rasa Rakta Adi Meda, Rasa Rakta Mams Meda Asti Majja Shukra Dhatus, and help plays an important role in the nourishment of all those dhatus. Poshya Dhatu is, Poshya part is the Meda Dhatu, which is Gati Vivarjita, that is Abhaddha Meda, that is Baddha Meda, which is stored in Medodhara Kala. Medodhara Kala is Udara, Spika, Sthana and Gala Pradesha. Next slide, please. So this was to be understood, because on basis of this, we would be able to devise a mechanism, the treatment protocol for the treatment of Baddha and Abhaddha Meda, that is obesity, Medoroga. So friends, here you can see in this slide, there are Samprapti Ghataka, we all are aware about it, that dosha is Kleda, Meda and Mams. Kapha is, Kleda, Kapha and Meda. These three are the dosha and dushyas. Meda Mamsa, Rasadhatu, Jatragni Mandya, Dhatu Agni Mandya. Specifically, Meda Dhatu Agni and Rasadhatu Agni. Marga is, it is Bahaya and Abhyantara, based on the Vyadhi. Sanchara is Sarva Sharira. Abhaddha Meda, the circulatory Meda, that is the lipids, when it goes into Hridaya Sthan, it causes issues or problem of the heart, specifically like hypertension or coronary artery disease, etc. Atherosclerosis. And it goes to kidney, it causes prameha and other renal disorders. Baddha meda is static fat, which causes obesity. Next slide, please. So friends, this is a correlation, a simple slide which gives us an insight about the concepts of Meda Roga or dyslipidemia. You can see in modern concepts like intake of high fatty diet or lack of exercise, sedentary lifestyle, asya sukham, sapan sukham. It is though mentioned as this one, nidana for prameha. In prameha also, Meda, Kled and Kapha. Same dosha dusha are there as in Meda Roga. So some the nidana are also same. Asya Sukham, Swapna Sukham, Dadi, Anupagramya, Audaka Sevanam. These are the nidanas for Prameya. Same nidanas are there for Meda Roga. Intake of high fatty diet, that is Kapha and Meda Vardaka, Medakara, Ati Sevana. Avyayama, Diva Swapna, and genetic predisposition, that is Bija Swabhava. Chalastika Udara Parshva, Stana Pradesha, Ati Meda Vriddhi are the Lakshanas of Meda, Ati Staulya. Same as per the modern aspect also, modern understanding also, that deposition of fat in abdomen, waist, buttock, etc. We take a measurement of waist measurement. It should not be more than 90 centimeters in males and 80 centimeters in females. BMI ratio, that is measurement what we take as per the allopathic perspective. Excessive appetite, atik shuddha. Because of Medhatu, the Vata Srotas get obstructed, and that Vata, Vishet Vata, again causes Sandukshana of Pachak Pitta. That leads to repeated eating habits. Exertional dyspnea, that is Shudra Shwasha, excessive perspiration, Atisveda, and Daurbalya. Complications of this Medha Roga is Ayusho Harsha, that is decreased life expectancy, and it is the factual thing. Java Aparodha, mechanical disability, is not able to move quickly, having difficulty in movement. Exertional dyspnea causes severe further other complications. These are the understanding of Medha Roga and dyslipidemia. Next slide, please. So friends, out of all these things, we can categorize the nidanas into 4 subgroups. One is dosha dushtikara nidanas. Dosha dushtikara nidanas, we are aware about guru, madhura, sheet, and these gunas will increase kapha, kleda, and meda. Dhatu daurbalya karatva, kha guna karatva, that is avyayama. No exercise. Potato couch. Avyavaya. Here we can take it as vyayama. Achintana. Achintana means no mental exertion. Nitya harsha. That is sedentary, enjoying the sedentary life. Agni mandya karatva nidanas. These are overeating, madhura rasa, snigdha guna dominant food intake. Bija dosha, that is genetics. Next slide, please. So these were the 4 categories which we can divide all the nidanas. So friends, we can see on this slide, as per Acharya Charak, as per Acharya Shushrut, as per Ashtanga Hridaya, Yoga Ratnakar, Bhava Prakash, and Madhav Nidan. This is summarization of all the nidanas. Why it is important to understand the nidanas or to know about the nidanas, causative factors? Because first line of treatment, the Pratham Chikitsa Siddhanta is to avoid the nidanas, nidana viparita chikitsa. That is ati sampurnat, overeating. Overeating causes obesity. As the part of medical fraternity, we should educate the society or educate the people. What should be the ideal quantum of food? Quantity of food. Kitna khana chahiye? What is the quantity of food? Do anjali praman. That is the size of our stomach. When we take more of it, stomach is a stretchable bag. We keep on eating on a regular basis, on daily basis, if we keep on eating in excess, the bag will extend, the size will increase, resulting into truncal obesity. Adhyashana, bhuktasya upara punah bhuktam. Having meals at home and going out and taking some burger, pizza, or chowmein, etc. That is called as bhuktasya upara punah bhuktam. Guru ahar, heavy items. Madhura ahar, ati sevana of madhura ahar. Ati sevana of sheet ahar. Ati sevana of snigdha ahar. In Charaka Samhita, it is mentioned as for balanced diet, it is mentioned as Goduma Yava Shali. There has to be taken on daily basis. Gritam, Shaudram, Madhu. It is to be taken on daily basis, but the amount is limited. Ahara, Nidra, and Vyayam. That is the Trayo Upasthamba. Ahara, Nidra, and it is actually Brahmacharya, but instead of Brahmacharya, we can add today as Vyayam. Ahara, Nidra, and Vyayam. It is advisable to take Gritam, but we need to follow the Vyayam also. Nava Anna Sevanam, Nava Madhya Sevanam, Gramya Mamsaras, that is excess of non-veg food. Next slide, please. Mamsa Sevanam, Dhadi Sevanam, Grita Sevanam, excess of Gritam. Payasivikara, milk and milk product to the excess amount. This we will understand from Dr. Geeta Madam also, that what should be the ideal quantity of it, these things, so that we can incorporate in our diet chart. Ikshu Shevanam, that is excess of milk and milk products and sugarcane products. Godhuma Sevanam, here only Acharya Charaka has mentioned as Godhuma Sevanam. Godhuma means wheat. Here it is the meaning, here the meaning of Godhuma means, as per Chakrapani, it is the processed wheat, fine, without husk. That has to be avoided. Shleshmala Ahara Seva. So here all we can see. Very important, one more point is Bhojanottara Jalpana. This is mentioned by Yogarattakar and Bhavaprakash. Usually we get queries from patients that when we should have water, when we should have Jalapan after food or before food or during the meals. So this is the reason for that. Immediately after meals, Bhojana Uttara Jalapanam is contraindicated, should not be taken. Why means? Our stomach is a stretchable bag, elastic bag. Already we had filled it with the food. Khane se usko bhar liya humne. And on that we take water. It will again stretch up. It will dilute all the enzymes. Indigestion will be the result, will be indigestion, and the bag will stretch. There will be truncal obesity. Ajirnam rogam moola karanam. Atyambupanam ajirna karanam. Isn't it? Atyambupanam ajirna karanam. Excess of water drinking is causes ajirnam. Ajirnam rogam moola karanam. So we should avoid excess of Jalapanam after Bhojanam. Little amount, 1 or 2 sips can be taken. Next slide, please. So here we are understanding the Samprapti, the reasons, the causative factors of obesity. Thereafter, we will go for understanding the Aharaja Chikitsa, how to manage obesity by dietary management, by diet. Rasa, here the causative factor for obesity is Madhura Rasa Pradhan Dravyas, which are Guru, Sheet and Snigdha and Abhishandi in Guna, which are of Sheeta Virya, Madhura Vipaka, Kapha Vriddhikara, Kaphaja Ahar Vihar, which are of Prithvi and Jala Mahabhut, which causes Brahmana of the doshas, of the dhatus. These are the reasons for obesity. Next slide, please. So friends, now here we come to the treatment aspect, dietary management. Everyone, we all are aware about the medical management or the medicinal management of obesity. We need to give Katu Tikta Kashaya Rasam Pradhan Dravyas. We need to induce Vyayam. We need to go for Agnisar Pranayam. We need to go for Udvartanam Chikitsa or Kashaya Vasti or Kshara Vasti. We all are aware about it. Now here we are today to discuss about the dietary management. There are a lot of confusion when patient ask like what diet to be followed. There are numerous concepts of diet with respect to modern aspect as well as Ayurvedic perspective. So we are here to discuss how do we clear this confusion. As per Shastriya reference, Acharya Charak, Acharya Shushrut, Ashtangridaya, Yogaratna, Bhavaprakash, and Vaishya Ratnavali, these are on your screen. You can see these are the recommended dravyas which are helpful in the management of Kleda Shoshan, Medo Kshaya, and Kapha Kshaya. Kleda, Meda, and Kapha, these three are the main dosha and dushyas for all lifestyle disorders. As we had known about it in the previous session of previous CME while discussing about diabetes, Madhumeha, Prameha. Prashastika, Priyangu, individually we will discuss in later slides. I'm just quoting the names here. Prashastika, Priyangu, Shyamak, Yavaka, Yava, Juna, Kodrava, Nivara. These are millets. Rice, a form of rice, millets. Krodashoka, Puranashali, Godhuma, Laja, that is a type of puffed rice. Next slide, please. Mudga, Kulatha, Chakramugaka, Adaki, Chanaka, Rajamasha, Masura, Uddalaka. So friends, here a noticeable point is purposefully at point number 18, you can see Rajamasha is mentioned. Whereas none of the acharyas support that Rajamasha is indicated for the management of obesity or Staulya Roga or Medo Roga. Everyone has given negative for this. Charaka, Shushruta, Yogaratnakar, Bhavaprakash, Ashtangridaya, and Vaishya Ratnavali. Everyone says that Rajamasha is contraindicated. Rajamasha is Rajma. This is very important to make a note of it. Rajma is absolute contraindicated for the management of obesity. In vegetables, patola, vartaka, and patra shaka, leafy vegetables. Next slide, please. Triphala, you can see in the fruits category. Triphala, amlaki. In Mamsa Varga, Chingati Matsya, which is having very low fat. Takra, Mastu, and Sura, that is alcohol. These are the dietary components which can be prescribed to a Medorogi to achieve balanced weight. Next slide, please. Madhu is specifically mentioned. You can see on your slide, friends. Every acharya have mentioned Madhu as an important dietary advice for the management of Staulya. So here Madhu is Purana Madhu, at least 1 year old. Along with that, Ushna Jala, Arishta, Sharshapa Tailam, Tila Tailam. We get the reference from Sutrasthan Ashtonintya Adhyay, Ati Staulyasya Upakarma, Acharya Charak. Next slide, please. So friends, here I would take an opportunity to invite Dr. Geeta ji. She will guide us further, and individually we will take up all the dietary components as discussed in the previous slide. So I request Dr. Geeta to please lead us.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Dr. Sachin, sir. At the outset, thank you, Rishabh and Kairali, to give me this platform. Indeed, I'm obliged and humbled. Thank you very much. बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद आप सबका इस प्लेटफॉर्म पे जुड़ने के लिए. 100 पार्टिसिपेंट्स, बहुत सुंदर इस रेस्पॉन्स है, क्योंकि आजकल ऑनलाइन सेशंस बहुत होते हैं, तो मुझे लगता है जब लोग ऐसे सेशंस पे ज्वाइन करते हैं, इट इज आउट ऑफ इंटरेस्ट टू लर्न, टू अंडरस्टैंड एंड टू प्रैक्टिस. जब हम प्रैक्टिस बोलते हैं तो कहीं ना कहीं दो साइंसेस को हम हमारे साइंस में कैसे बेहतर बना सकते हैं. How I can make my practice better by learning more is the goal, I think, which you all are looking for. I'm a practicing nutritionist. I have done modern dietetics, but I'm doing a lot of integrated work with Ayurvedic expert. I'm not an Ayurvedic expert, but I feel the way forward is get the best of every science. Today we are discussing obesity, friends, and I'm sure each one of us have this challenge in our own home, in our own selves. At the same time, each one of us would, however fit you are, you want to knock off 1 to 2 kgs of your abdominal fat, or you must have set some goals which never is accomplished. And your patient first, when he comes to you, he always feels weight management. So it's a very interesting topic today which we are discussing, and I think Dr. Sachin sir ने काफी कुछ हमें उस टॉपिक के बारे में आयुर्वेदिक पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू बताया. तो चलो अब हम बात करते हैं मॉडर्न डाइटेटिक्स. Every day there's something or other information we get to understand about this aspect of obesity, especially diet. Secondarily, 2-meal pattern, intermittent fasting. End of the day, let's understand what is weight loss. What is obesity management? It's a very simple equation, friends. I feel it is given our textbooks. It is energy balance. If I eat food as per my requirement, I don't lose neither gain weight. If I eat less than my requirement, which can be a case with sick person also. I'm not well, I eat less. I go for a surgery, I eat less. I lose weight. And if I eat more than my requirement, I gain weight. Very simple thought process behind energy management. I need more, I eat more, I move less. I need to lose weight, I move more, I eat less. Simple. Next slide. So when I'm started looking at such a simple equation, if you're saying jada khao, kam khao, wazan kam jada, so simple. Why are we having such a big challenge? Why are we discussing on this? And why is there every day a new format if it is just an energy balance? So let's understand, when we say weight loss, now we say fat loss. Fat is something which is a trigger to a lot of infection, inflammation, internal diseases, as Dr. Sachin very beautifully told us. And I want to tell you that from modern dietetics point of view, how do we work on fat loss? Food is an integral part of life. Rishabh, while he started, he said, write down that you all are looking forward. Do you want to promote Ayurveda? Most of you said yes. And this is such a fantastic medicine which we have in our ancient culture. And we also feel we need to integrate these two as a part of modern dietetics and come together as an integrated dietetics. And here, I think food is a very integral part. In our culture, I'm sure aap sab mere se agree karte hain ki food is happiness, food is connect, food is social, food is celebration, food is festival. Food is somewhere we look up as a feel-good factor, comfort. Negative side of it is depression, frustration, anxiety, overeating. This is a negative part of it. So why don't we look food today as information? मुझे तो लगता है हमारे इसमें food nutrition तो सबसे last आएगा. Celebration, social, happiness सबसे पहले आएगा. Or we will look nutrition as the last thing, and that will only think when we see a dietitian, when we see a doctor, when we want to lose weight, when we are really over-conscious about our health, kabhi diabetes detect ho gaya. Then we said, I'm going on a diet. Diet is such a negative word, friends. Diet is a way of life in Greek. Diet शब्द का अर्थ है way of life Greek में. और हमने तो उसे diet बोले तो नहीं खाने पे लाके रखा है. Not eating is not an answer, and none of you will follow not eating. Smart eating and learning how to eat is something we need to promote. We are all in an era of personalized nutrition, personalized health. And when we say personalized, I think we are the best person to know what I need. मुझे भूख कब लगती है, मुझे कितना खाना चाहिए, मेरा पेट कब भरना चाहिए. This is my own feeling with myself, and which Ayurveda science very beautifully tells us. Modern dietitics may not tell me, it gives me an equation, 1 + 1 = 2. Now, Ayurveda tells me behind the scene, you should look at what your body talks to you and then you work on it. Fantastic. So I said, let me check the energy. Let me look at protein and balanced diet. And now I look my body to integrate with it. So I have a lot of areas to work on. Let's pick up one area and start thinking how it works. And parallelly, I'll talk to you about what we've been discussing. And adolescence. A young child, a young male or female, a girl or a boy, 13, 17, 18 years come to me, especially class 8 to class 12, and say, parents get that person to me and say, Madam, iska wazan kam kar do. और is it so easy? Do you also have challenges? इसका वजन कैसे कम करेंगे? बच्चे को नहीं खाना बोलना is such a bad thing. And the more you tell people not to eat, the more the food focus increases. And I'm sure you and me are also one of this. We need to be spiritually very strong not to think of not eating. I'm sure none of the diabetic patients look at not eating sweet. अरे आज का दिन खा लेता हूँ, आज ही तो है, कल से मैं diet करूँगा. Somewhere we start talking to us, it's a feel good factor, is happiness. And this happiness को हम नहीं उसको बाहर निकालना चाहते. We want dopamine to be secreted. We want feel-good hormones to be with us, and food is the best therapy, friends, best therapy. I'm sure you all are loving me because end of the day, somebody is telling you to eat. And in a session like obesity management, जब कोई बोलता है यार ये मैडम तो सब खाओ बोल रही है, ये कैसे वजन कम करवाएगी हमारा? हमने तो नहीं खाना, नहीं खाना, नहीं खाना. डाइट चार्ट में एक आ जाता है, no, 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 no. So I'll make it interesting for you to tell you. But for me, food is happiness. Food is comfort. And I want to talk to you in the same way. And I've given an example of adolescent boy. एक puberty का बच्चा आ गया. He is helpless. He says, मुझे virtual दुनिया में बिठा दिए. मुझे बैठ के काम करना पड़ता है. And you ask me not to eat. Very difficult. Food मेरा best friend है. ना लोगों से मिलना होता है. पढ़ाई और मैं, so मेरा best friend तो food हो गया. Class 7th में सिखाया जाता है. What is balanced diet? So your child also knows. Balanced diet मतलब 5 food groups. आप देख रहे हैं स्क्रीन पे. पहला food group एनर्जी देता है. फूड के 3 मेजर काम है दोस्तों. 1, to give you energy. 2, body building. And 3, protection. Food has a job with my body. Energy, body building, and protection. अब ये 3 जॉब के लिए, to make it very simple, we now divide this food into 5 food groups. You can see on the screen. 5 food group में अब एनर्जी कौन दे रहा है मुझे? Who's giving me energy? The grains, the cereals, the millets. We'll talk about it soon. These are energy giving foods. उसमें starchy vegetable भी आ गया. So you have chapati, rice. Now that for adolescent boy, if he comes to me, I ask him, okay, beta, tell me what you eat throughout the day. He will say, I'm from Maharashtra, so I'm a poha lover. Most of you are from North Indian, so you are Rishabh said that South India, North India, pan global, you have today come to attend this session. I'm so happy for all of us and you. So you will say, I'll eat paratha, somebody will say idli, somebody from Chennai was there. I don't know what Nepali eat for breakfast. We had one doctor from Nepal. So you all generally, in Indian genes, Indian way of eating is पूरी भाजी भी खाऊंगा तो पूरी के लिए भाजी खाऊंगा, पराठा के लिए दही खाऊंगा, मैं तो पोहा खाऊंगी as a Maharashtrian, and idli के लिए सांबार खाऊंगा. So your grain based diet. Then the boy told me, I eat poha, then I eat 2 chapatis and sabji, then I eat in the evening some snacks, biscuits especially, and dinner mera chawal or pulao biryani hota. So if you look at your day's diet, friends, and I want you to assess your mind with this, what I'm speaking, we eat lot of food with energy. The grains, the starches. Potato is a vegetable for us. Now I'm telling you, potato is an energy giving food from my point of view. So when I started saying weight management, तो बड़ा simple equation है दोस्तों, energy intake, expenditure. And I always feel people come to me because they don't move. आप expenditure नहीं कर रहे हो, बहुत ज़्यादा environment में खाना है, ज़्यादा खा रहे हो, नहीं हिल रहे हो, मेरे पास आ रहे हो. Now the challenge is कम कैसे खाना है, पेट कैसे भरना है, मन को कैसे खुश रखना है. This is why we are talking all this about. So energy giving food are starches and sugars and sweets. So these are 2 groups, friends, which gives me energy. The second job of food, I said, is bodybuilding. So we have proteins. Lot is talked about protein. Lot is promoted for proteins. And we feel protein is the best food, best thing in the food. No, protein has some job. It is 15% of my calories. And it is important because essential amino acids I won't get from my own self. So I need proteins. So what do I ask the child? आप protein क्या खाते हो बताओ? The child says, दूध पीता हूँ सुबह में, चावल पे दाल डालती है माँ. He doesn't even know what he's eating. And then he says, रात में भी शायद दही खा लेता हूँ. So the information what protein is not there for a child. So protein, and in an household, you also now, while talking to me, must be knowing, अरे यार सही में मैडम बोल रही है मैं पोहा खा लेता हूँ, पराठा खा ले, पराठा के लिए दही खा रहा हूँ, चावल पे दाल डाल रहा हूँ. So the application of understanding is there are not much proteins in my diet. Though we know protein is very celebrated nutrient, but there is not much protein. I have to take efforts to eat protein. मुझे अंडा खाना पड़ता है, supplement लेना पड़ता है, सोच के. I mean, it's not in my culture to eat proteins, but that is the job of food, to give you building, body building, immunity. That is the third group. The fourth group, or then the fifth group, the protection, immunity, internal, cellular health, and you can see is fruits and vegetables. अब आप बताइए किसका contribution ज़्यादा है यहाँ? The fruits and vegetables. It is carbohydrate, but not giving me calories. I need at least 8 serving of fruit and vegetable every day. 600 gram sabjiya, 200 gram phal. Oh, that's too much. Count your vegetables, friends. And I had to talk to you about that puberty boy which is in front of me. Usko to sabjiyon ke naam bhi nahi malum. He tries to tell me paneer, rajma, chole, aloo. Then his mother tries to push him, said, yaar, sabji puch rahi hai, doctor, aap usko sabji bolo. Then he'll say, bhendi. So sad the scenario is, the majority of my diet says eat vegetables and fruits. And we are now trying to learn what are the name of vegetables, which is taught to us in lower KG. And the class 9th or class 10 boy says, I don't know, I've not been oriented. And माँ बोलती है सब्जी खाता ही नहीं है, उसको हम पराठा में ठूस के, कटलेट में ठूस के, उसको पता ही नहीं मैं एक सब्जी खिला रही हूँ. So who's the culprit? I said to mother, you are not orienting your child to sabji. मैं तो बोल रही हूँ मेरा प्लेट दिखा है, सबसे ज्यादा सब्जी खाना है. That's a very important food group. It gives me protection. And protection नहीं है, protein नहीं है, सब कुछ energy giving food खा रहे हैं हम लोग. So friends, have you noted your diet now when I'm speaking to you? Have you started analyzing what did you eat yesterday and today morning? Did you learn how your plate looks? Try getting into it and then you learn. Next slide. And the last group, which is also energy, is the fats. Next slide, Rishabh. The last group, which is also energy, is the fats and oils. So tel, ghee of the diet. We'll come to each one of that. But my point of telling you is our food is beautifully divided into energy, body, and protection. And your diet is also beautifully looking as majority of contribution of food as energy. If you need energy, you better burn it. If you do not eat energy, try to change the way you eat it. Because weight management is all about energy balance. I'm going to give you tips. I've already started talking to you. Dal mein chawal, chawal pe dal. Smart eating is what we need. You want to lose weight, first balance your carbs. Change the way your plate looks. Because the BMI for South Asians says 22.9. Calculate your BMI, friends, whoever is listening to me. I'm sure all of you are doctors, you know your BMI. But the waist and the BMI, the waist says 35-inch in males, which is 90 centimeters. Dr. Sachin was speaking about it. And women is 80 centimeters. And mera bhi BMI usme nahi, mera waist usme nahi hai. We Indian waist have a typical, what we say, apple and pear shaped. Everybody, whoever comes to me, pet kam karna hai. Haath pair achhe hai, pet kam karna hai. So we are thin fat Indians. Thin fat Indians have a smaller, leaner hands and legs, but a belly. And Dr. Sachin was mentioning, next slide, that we are actually getting into diabetic capital. The belly fat, one more click, Trisha. The belly fat is something which is called as visceral fat. Friends, let's change the definition of obesity. We have something called as wellness weight. If your weight is not really bothering you, because weight loss is another area of stress management. We are unnecessarily getting stressed about weight loss. हम बहुत सोच के वजन कम कर रहे हैं, मर के आंकड़ों पे देख रहे हैं. And we are messed with our life. That is giving me stress. Weight तो कम नहीं होता, लेकिन stress बढ़ जा रहा है, नींद खराब हो रही है. We're spoiling the quality of life. I'm sure you're with me today. And my focus is fat loss. My focus is visceral fat loss. The visceral fat loss says your waist circumference. Let's today take a pledge and work on looking at how will I reduce my waist. Of course, BMI can be plus minus 5 kgs. It's a very simple way for all the Ayurvedic doctors there, all the paramedics. I had one dietitian also joining me today. So interesting. Height in centimeters minus 100. It's a very crude way, but it's very practical way, I'd say. For an ideal body weight, I always say Broca's index. You can Google it out. The Broca's index says height in centimeters minus 100 for boys and males, and height in centimeters minus 105 for girls. So the scenario is you've understood your diet, you've learned, the next slide, you learn, oh, the challenge is the waist. The challenge for all my illness is waist. And since I'm speaking to doctors, I would like to get now into technicalities of it. The puberty boy, now we'll change it to a PCOS girl. Let's take a scenario 2. A PCOS girl, 18, 19 years, says, I have irregular menstrual cycle. My doctor says PCOS, and she says me to lose weight. Ghuma phira ke, all hormonal challenges, thyroid, polycystic, diabetes, they say weight loss, infertility, and especially for girls and females, it's a challenge. And then I ask her the same questions which I did to a puberty boy, that what is your challenge? She said, I don't exercise. She says, I don't move. And she also says, I eat quite about eating outside. Now, this puberty boy is sitting at home. Nah? He's class 8 to class 12. So he's in the house arrest to study. So there's no movement, and ghar ka khana he has not realized. But the girl says, in a week, at least every day, one meal I eat outside. So I asked her, what do you eat? I'm sure all of you relate to me when I'm talking about this because you have these patients with you. She says, I'm in Maharashtra, so vada pav, chaat. Vada pav is some Mumbai Pune's favorite dish, and I'm sure all of you are thinking about it. Then she'd say paratha, North Indians, chaat khana hai, chole bhatura khana hai. So this is the way, chitpata khana, spicy, sweet tooth. Bahar jaoge to kya khaoge? Bakery khaoge, thoda sa bahar ka dekhoge. Now let's get back to basics. We'll try to understand when you are looking at what to eat, it's carbohydrates. We are carbohydrate eaters. So when I eat a plate of poha, for example, or when I eat a sandwich background is bread. It gets into my system. It's an energy giving food. We've learned about it. It gives me starch. Aloo hai, roti hai, sab starch de raha hai. I eat, and whatever you eat out, unless you eat a starter of chicken or paneer, you're eating a carbohydrate because that's energy giving. Jo bhi kha rahe ho, anaj se pani puri khao, ragda patties khao, ya idli sambar khao. Aapka base anaj hi hai. Ab jab bhi anaj khaoge, ghar mein bhi roti sabji khao, the last end product of your digestion of the carbohydrates is glucose. It says after 2 hours of the eating food, I'll give you glucose. Now it all depends. I eat 2 sliced bread, immediate glucose. I eat idli sambar. Sambar mein idli dal ke khaya maine. Dal mein chawal dala. So comparatively my carbs is less. It takes some time to convert into glucose. I add a fiber to it. Sabji dal diya maine usme. Khichdi is our national food. Dal, chawal, sabji sab dal ke maine ek dish bana ke usme ghee dal ke papad laga ke kha liya. It takes more time to get converted into glucose, because it has something called as fiber. This is interesting. The combination food, that's what Ayurveda says. The combination food, we are missing out on it. We have come to wraps and burgers and pizzas and one dish meals. But the one dish meal should be better had in bowls, where there's a protein or a vegetable, and then I add a carb. Ragda patty is fantastic example, I feel. Ragda mein patties ja raha hai, to kyun aloo se dar rahe ho udhar? Vada pav, hopeless. Pav bhi carb hai, aloo bhi carb hai. So we start looking now, training your brain that pehle protein kha lo, aadha pet bhar jayega aapka. Then you add a carb to your protein. So why not add dal mein rice? Because fiber is needed. You don't eat dal because you're not eating rice. Next slide. You don't eat vegetables because you don't like them, or it's very difficult to see which vegetable. My child doesn't eat any vegetable. Or I don't like vegetable is in hashtag now. So it's too much. We need to see that how we incorporate all this, and fiber, protein is an essential ingredient of our diet. Satiety, nutrition, and energy balance. Because my problem is carb. Energy jada kha rahe ho, energy bolta hai use me or store me. Protein bolta hai jada kha rahe ho, use me or lose me. Protein is not stored unless you take efforts to store. You have to do some bodybuilding. You have to do some exercises. So protein बहुत ज़्यादा नहीं चाहिए. Good quality protein चाहिए. We call that protein as essential amino acids. सब चाहिए. My body can't make essential amino acids, and there are 9 of them. And I need them. And then you hear these terms called pedicars. You hear all these essential amino acids. So the reference protein is taken as egg, because egg has all complete. So animal proteins, milk hai, egg hai, non-veg hai. इसको हम बोलते हैं reference है. सब amino acids है. They're best. And if I give you an example, how much protein you need, next slide, I'll say it is very simple, 0.6 gram per kg body weight. I don't know, Rishabh, would you be sharing the slides with them? If they want, you're welcome, because many of them have asked that If you can share the slides, share the YouTube recording, you can see this because I won't be going through into all this. But understand, मुझे हर मील में प्रोटीन घुसाना है. अब चलो जाते हैं वो प्यूबर्टी के डाइट में और बोलते हैं कि मुझे पोहा के साथ क्या खिलाओगे? सिर्फ दूध पियो, अंडा खाओ, स्प्राउट्स खाओ. लंच में कैसे खाओ प्रोटीन? दाल में चावल डालो. इवनिंग में क्या खाओ? दूध पी के फ्रूट खाओ. फिर जो खाना है वो खाओ. You can always try to train your appetite. आप पोहा खा के दूध पियोगे तो ज्यादा पोहा खा लोगे. दूध पी के पोहा खाओगे तो आप कंट्रोल्ड एनर्जी इनटेक लोगे ना. एंड ऑफ द डे you're looking at controlled energy intake. I was seeing a question. Somebody says, I changed my diet plan. मैं सुबह ज्यादा खाता हूँ, शाम में कम खाता हूँ. Very good. मुझे अगर रात में एनर्जी की जरूरत ही नहीं है तो मैं क्यों खाऊं रात में? तो आप 2 मील फॉलो करो, 4 मील फॉलो करो, भूख लगी तब खाओ. But try to see that you are now eating in a small controlled meal. I want you to eat in a very small controlled meal, but for that, every meal you should have proteins. That's very, very important. Very, very important. And you can see these proteins coming in your diet as egg, curd, lentils, dals, and non-veg too. But next slide. But protein is not an answer, friends, only. You need to now understand the quality of proteins. Vegetarian diet, dal mein chawal dao, best quality protein. उसमें सब अमाइनो एसिड, लाइसिन अमाइनो एसिड बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट होता है. लाइसिन का कंट्रीब्यूशन प्रोटीन में बहुत होता है. एंड आई वांट टू नाउ हाईलाइट सेइंग दैट द प्रोटीन, इज देयर अ बैकग्राउंड साउंड एट माय एंड, ऋषभ?
Yes, ma'am. I'll just
can I take a minute? Just give me some time.
Yeah, sure, ma'am. Sure, ma'am. No problem.
So friends, meanwhile, Dr. Geeta will come back and join us. See the beauty of this integrated science. I'm very impressed to hear about this because we know, as per our our Shastra also, Pathya and Apatya, Mudga is mentioned, Shastika Shali is mentioned. It is said that we need to take Shastika Shali, we need to take Yava, we need to take Mudga, we need to take Kulthi. It is said.
Yes.
But it is very important. Like, this is the beauty of integration. Like,
so you're on mute. Okay. So I'll
please
want to say something?
I just wanted to conclude this, that
Yes.
I mean, because of this integration, now we are able to understand कि दाल में चावल डालना है. In the dal, we need to add rice. On the rice, we don't need to add the dal. This is the beauty of integration. We have this Shastika Shali, Mudga, and all the lentils and dals mentioned in Pathya and Apatya. But how to take it? How to advise the patients? It is not about us to take. It is not about us to know. It is about how do we educate the patients who are coming to us with respect to the diet plan and management of obesity. That, sir, आप दाल खाना है, चावल खाना. We just take and give a diet chart. You take rice, you take mudga dal, you take moong masoor dal. You don't take fat and so and so. We just take and give a diet plan. Now, this is the beauty of this integration. That we need to educate. Sir, आप दाल में चावल ऐड करो. You add rice in dal. You add idli in the sambar. You don't add dal over the rice, and you don't add sambar over the idli. So this is what the concept about integration. So, ma'am, please continue.
Thank you. So dal mein chawal has become a famous tagline in this session, I think. So keep going it. Remember me when you take a bowl, add a dal and add rice into it. So I'll be happy for that. But the whole idea I wanted to tell you is we are looking at how to minimize the energy intake and maximize the nutrition. Nutrition is soil to my fork. So we say farm to fork. जो उग रहा है मेरे प्लेट में ठीक से आ रहा है कि नहीं आ रहा है. So जो क्या उग रहा है सॉइल में क्या है वो मेरे तक आना चाहिए. अब मुझे नहीं मालूम सॉइल कितना अच्छा है. So उसमें I want to try to tell you that please blend the food, use combinations. And Indian culture don't change much. We have dal, chawal, roti, sabji, thali. A thali says that combination meal give you best of nutrition. उसमें amino acid, next slide, amino acid, carbohydrates, ये सब चीज को बहुत टाइम होता है. अब एनआईन ने बोला है अगर आपके डाइट में if you look at the way you eat cereal, pulse, milk, curd, dal and rice. अब इसका उन्होंने रेशियो दिया है 1:1:3. सो मतलब चावल पे दाल, उसके साथ 1 कटोरी दही. सो अब आप कितना स्मार्टली देख सकते हैं दोस्तों. एवरी मील इफ आई टेल माय पेशेंट, नाउ वी टू सिनेरियोज हियर. एक प्यूबर्टी का बच्चा है जिसको सब्जी के नाम भी नहीं मालूम, और एक पीसीओएस की लड़की है जो उसको पसंद नहीं आता खाना घर का. शी वांट्स टू ईट एवरीथिंग आउटसाइड. चैलेंज. एवरीबॉडी नोज वेट लॉस मतलब सब्जी खाना, सैलेड खाना, ये खाना, everything we all know. Today, it's no dearth of information. It is how smartly we convince everybody to eat smart, eat right way. So, if I have this in front of me, हर मील में 2 प्रोटीन चाहिए अब मुझे. So, I will say, सुबह आपको दूध पी के नाश्ता करना है, और नाश्ते में कॉम्बिनेशन पराठा तो दही खाना ही है, फिर दूध मत पीजिए, आप स्प्राउट लीजिए, 2 प्रोटीन घुसाइए आप लंच में भी आप दाल और दही खाइए. अब दही नहीं खा सकते, 2 कटोरी दाल खाइए. दाल नहीं पी सकते, 2 कटोरी दही खाइए. रायता खाइए, दही बटर मिल्क पीजिए, कड़ी खाइए. माय प्रॉब्लम विद पनीर इज बैकग्राउंड में काफी दही दूध आ जाता है, बिकॉज आई हैव लॉट ऑफ नॉर्थ इंडियंस हियर. 500 ml मिल्क लगेगा 100 ग्राम पनीर के लिए. वी आर ऑल प्रमोटिंग पनीर फॉर प्रोटीन रिक्वायरमेंट. द चैलेंज इज फैट. बहुत ज्यादा दूध पिया जाता है, बहुत ज्यादा फैट भी चले जाता है. द कल्प्रिट विद एनिमल फूड इज द फैट, the saturated fat. Too much of saturated fat is getting in our food in the name of #proteins. This protein should be known as a essential amino acid provider. So, as Dr. Sachin was saying, quantify your animal proteins. Very important. 10-10 अंडे खाने की कोई जरूरत नहीं जिम में जा रहे तो. We are now into a friendly ecosystem. I want my soil to do well, my plate to do well, and my gut to do well. So I'm promoting plant foods. I will eat all plant-based food because plant is good for my health and for the environment. If I want to eat animal food, I'll count my proteins. Protein counting, not more than 1 egg every day. If you're an adult, not 300 ml of milk every day. So I asked the puberty girl, do you like milk? Puberty boy, he said, I drink almost a big glass full milk in the mornings. First cause of constipation. 500 ml milk. You're putting Indian food into Western cutlery. तो गो बैक टू आस्क योर ग्रैंडमदर, आप किस कटोरी में दही खाती थी, आप किस कप में चाय पीती थी, आप किस कप में दूध पीती थी. लेट्स गो बैक देयर. इंडियन खाना कैन नॉट गो इन वेस्टर्न बाउल्स. वेस्टर्न बाउल पोर्शंस इज वेरी हाई. डॉक्टर सचिन टोल्ड अस 2 फिस्ट लगाएंगे तो इतना ही मेरा पेट है, और इतने पेट में मैं इतना दूध डालूंगी, उसके बाद पोहा डालूंगी, उसके बाद मैं कुछ नहीं हालचाल करूंगी. सो सैड स्टेट. सो लर्न टू पुट टू नेक्स्ट स्लाइड. Learn to put 2 proteins in every meal, then it will be easier. Don't overeat proteins, neither undereat protein. If you look at the calories, 50-60% comes from carbohydrates. उसमें सब्जियां ज्यादा है, तो एक चपाती को 1 कटोरी सब्जी. सिंपल. फाइबर तो वेजिटेरियन डाइट में आ ही जाएगा. योर चपाती हैज फाइबर, योर जवार रोटी हैज फाइबर, योर मिलेट्स हैव फाइबर, योर दाल्स हैव फाइबर. So don't take extra efforts to have fiber. Just include good amount of vegetables, 200 to 300 grams in every meal. That's fiber. And 1 to 2 serving. Then no need to feel dearth for protein as supplement. You first balance your diet by adding 2 bowls of vegetables, 2 bowls of sabji. Automatic चावल और चपाती कम हो जाएगी. 2-3 मील हफ्ते में. I'll counsel that adolescent girl, PCOS girl. आप हफ्ते में 2 दिन बाहर खाओ. फिर मत पूछो, पानी पूरी खाओ, जो भी करो. Appetite training करो. आप 6 पूरी खा रहे हो, फैंटास्टिक, मुझे आपको मत खाओ बोलने की जरूरत ही नहीं. अगर आप 3 प्लेट पानी पूरी खा के फिर जाके बिरयानी खाओगे, फिर आइसक्रीम खाओगे, oh, that's a huge appetite. ये appetite training करना चाहिए. So select what your patient needs in obesity. Your patient needs mindful eating. Your patient needs portion control. Your patient needs counseling. Your patient needs protein, fiber. We have to just, with the next slide, with the recall. First, listen to the patient. With the recall, learn to know what the diet is all about. Because 50% carbohydrates, 15 to 20% protein. उतना ही percent protein है. 60% नहीं, unless you do a keto diet. Well, I'm not talking about it because it's a different sort, totally ball game. And 30% fat, friends. 30 is a big number. And we are forgetting fat. And I'm sure Dr. Sachin will throw some light on it. कितना fat जरूरी है, and you promote fat. Our modern dietetics say balance your fats. जैसे essential amino acids है, आपको essential fatty acid चाहिए. But 30% fat है. उस 30% में 15% खाने का फैट है. या राइस ब्रान में भी फैट है, कॉर्न में भी फैट है, सोया में है, नट्स में है. इनविजिबल फैट हाफ चाहिए. विजिबल फैट मुझे हिसाब लगाना पड़ेगा. विजिबल फैट को मैंने नॉनवेज को हिसाब लगा दिया बिकॉज दैट सैचुरेटेड फैट. So घी में सिर्फ खाना बनाना गलत है. People from Rajasthan. But what happens, friends, is दूध में saturated fat, घी में खाना बन रहा है, बहुत ज्यादा saturated fat हो जाता है. बहुत ज्यादा कोकोनट खाओ. Don't dominate your food. Make a variety in your diet. एक ही चीज से dominate करोगे तो फिर वो fatty acid का profile ठीक नहीं रहेगा. So half is visible fat, which I will say that look at balancing oil, keep rotating your oils and stick to your cultural oil. North Indians stick to mustard oil. South Indians, coconut oil. We are Western people, we will use groundnut oil. Next slide. And then we say, एक महीना rice bran खाओगे, एक महीना soya खाओगे, फिर वापस को groundnut जाओगे. So third, fourth month, get back to your basic oil, क्योंकि आपका cooking technique is all about blending of food. आप तिल भी use करोगे, आप जवस भी use करोगे, आप nuts भी use करोगे, आप बादाम भी खाओगे, सब में fat है. And that's a very good fat. Food fat is the best fat. That's MUFA, friends, that you see on the screen. MUFA, MUFA. What we don't need much is saturated fat. And this way, अंडा खाना तो एक ही खाना है, right? दूध पीना है तो 300 ml पीना है. No, पनीर खाना है तो उस दिन दूध मत पियो. क्योंकि मैंने दूध भी पी लिया 500 ml, 200 ग्राम पनीर भी खा लिया, उसे 1 लीटर दूध पी लिया. Lot of fat with it because दूध में 3.5 ग्राम प्रोटीन है, काउस मिल्क में तो 3.5 ग्राम फैट भी है. Buffalo's milk में 3.5 ग्राम प्रोटीन है, 7 ग्राम फैट है. And the 7 and 3.5 is all saturated fat. Culprit is not this. The culprit is quantity. Culprit is how much we indulge in it. Wrong fat तो processed fat है. उसको तो trans fat का label लगा के pesticide ने भी बोला कि इसको आप quantify कीजिए. Problem क्या होता है दोस्तों? All of us, we know street food is our passion, happiness, comfort. वो कौन trans fat का हिसाब लगाएगा फिर? वो कोई label नहीं है. आप दिल्ली के चाट भंडार में है, तवा पे गरम गरम ऑयल जा रहा है, उस पे आप तवा डाल रहे हो, स्मोक आ रहा है. That's the tastiest food. That's trans fat. But let's not say not to eat. As I start, next slide. As I started saying, let's balance it. Let's balance it. हफ्ते में 2 दिन बाहर का खाऊंगा, 2 दिन सिर्फ सब्जियों का ही खाना खाऊंगा, सूप पीऊंगा, सलाद खाऊंगा, जो because my vegetables won't be matching my intake. बाकी मील में प्रोटीन घुसाऊंगा and ज्यादा हिलूंगा. I'll exercise as well as move because we are now into triple burden of obesity. एक तो अंडर न्यूट्रिशन, जो पहले 1980s में बोल रहे थे एनीमिया, गोइटर, न्यूट्रिएंट बेस. अब ओवर न्यूट्रिशन, नॉन कम्युनिकेबल डिजीजेस, डायबिटीज, dyslipidemia, and the third burden is micronutrient deficient malnutrition. I really do not know how to address B complex, calcium, iron. So under, over, and micronutrients. So we are now challenging micronutrient deficiency. We check your micronutrients, B12, D3, work on it, and get out of this malnutrition. Any person, next slide, अच्छे खाते पीते घर का है तो भी क्या है? प्रॉब्लम है कि डेफिशिएंसी. यू शुड बी नॉर्मल. 22 पॉइंट के ऊपर जाओ या 18.5 के नीचे आओ. बहुत पतला रहना भी गलत है, बहुत मोटा रहना भी गलत है. Because end of the day, you are malnourished. Over, under, both are malnourished. So very simple, friends. I hope you all have understood. Energy balance is modern dietetics. You can't overnight lose a lot of weight. Change your lifestyle. Learn to go in a calories deficit by smart eating. Take 1 to 2 steps at a time. We say just go 500,000 calorie deficit. Eat as you want, 2 meals second hourly. We have no challenge. It is as per your appetite. Don't follow anybody. Follow your gut, follow your instincts. Take that from Ayurveda. Ayurveda tells follow your constitution. We respect it. Your constitution is different. I may not be hungry for breakfast, so don't eat breakfast. ऐसा नहीं कि मॉडर्न डाइट बोला ब्रेकफास्ट खाना चाहिए, इंपॉर्टेंट मील है, भूख नहीं लग रही तो क्यों खा रहे हैं? हिलते ही नहीं हम लोग तो क्या जरूरत है? So don't get carried away next by the way your body starts telling you. Just understand when you feel hungry. Are you eating a balanced meal? How much calories I'm eating? How much energy giving food I'm eating? For these two cases, you very clearly note, एक को बाहर का खाना कम कर दिया, प्रोटीन को घुसा दिया, दूसरे को बोला कि आप खुद को बैलेंस करके एक्सरसाइज पे जोर दो. Simple. So you have to pick up the points where your patient or client needs addressal, and especially for you and me also, work on energy management. Portion is very beautiful. I don't know whether I've kept this slide, but I'll see whether this is your stomach size. Put your hand on the cup, on the table. This is your cup size. So for all your children, giving this much of milk is dangerous. Identify the culprits in your diet. Recall. This is your chapati size. This is your tablespoon. This is your teaspoon. fist cooking. Raw grain, always take 1 fist raw from females, 2 fist raw for this one normal. वजन कम करना है तो 2 fist का आधा, 1 fist कर लो, 1 fist का आधा fist कर लो. But this is your grain. This is your protein. Simple. Your hand tells you your portion counts. This is your vegetables. Right? So we made it very simple because body surface area 6 foot का आदमी का appetite और 5 foot बहुत फर्क रहना चाहिए, रहना भी चाहिए, because your stomach sizes are different, your requirement is different. And structure yourself. Don't follow something for some days and again shift it to somewhere next. Try, next slide. Try to keep a balance of it and work on metabolism. Metabolism says 70% body को सिखाओ कैसे खा के हजम करना है. So many a times we say ये पतला आदमी कितना खाता है, देखो इसका वजन ही कम नहीं हो रहा है, वजन ही नहीं बढ़ता, मैं तो हवा खाए तो भी वजन बढ़ता हूँ. The challenge is he has good muscles and I don't have muscles. So मुझे हवा खाए तो भी वजन बढ़ेगा because muscle ही नहीं है. मैं अगर पोहा खाऊंगी, पोहा का शुगर में कन्वर्ट होने में, पोहा पूछेगा क्या काम है मुझे, इंसुलिन काम में लग जाएगा, फिर बोलेगा चलो एनर्जी आउटपुट, ग्लूकोज बोलेगा हाल हिल ही नहीं रहे आदमी, कहाँ एनर्जी आउटपुट है. ओके, लेट्स गो टू मसल्स. मसल्स है, वेरी गुड, पोहा 2 प्लेट खाओगे तो सब मसल पे चले जाएगा. मसल भी नहीं है, तो पोहा बोलेगा ठीक है यार कहीं जगह ही नहीं है, मुझे जाता हूँ और विसरल फैट में जाके ग्लूकोज बोल के एनर्जी, ट्राइग्लिसराइड, 3 मॉलिक्यूल ऑफ ग्लूकोज एक साथ आएंगे, ट्राइग्लिसराइड बोल के विसरल फैट में जाके बैठ जाएंगे. And that's what we are struggling with. The visceral fat is culprit for a lot of illness, which Dr. Sachin was saying, in your blood as lipids, in your diabetes, pre-diabetic, in your polycystic, in your hormonal imbalance, and the list is endless. Work on metabolism. Metabolism says build muscles. Thermic effect of food. What is thermic? जैसे आप में Dr. Sachin बताएंगे. Food which increases the thermal energy, मतलब spices, proteins. इससे क्या होता है, we call them as negative calories. Body उसको हजम करने के लिए भी काफी एनर्जी लेती है. Suppose I eat vegetables, a bowl of vegetables. On paper, it is 100 calories. My body doesn't need 100 calories, get 100 calories because it takes 200 calories to burn that vegetable. So we call it as negative. मेरी body उसको हजम करने के लिए इतना calories लेती है. That's thermic effect of food. Exercise, non-exercise activity, मतलब exercise के अलावा हिलना, 10,000 steps. 10,000 is not your exercise. Exercise is muscle building, gym ho, yoga ho, cardio ho. We need all types of exercise, and any AT, that is non-exercise and building muscles, and that's 30%. Exercise the 5-10% ही है. But आप देख रहे हो कि बाकी के जो 10-15% है, वो है आपका non-exercise activity. Next slide. So somewhere you start looking as metabolism. If you look at this, the slide is very, very beautifully explaining metabolism में अपनी body को थोड़ा time लो और muscles बढ़ा के हजम करना सिखाओ. We call it as resting metabolism. So for a boy or a PCOS girl, I'll say lose fat, gain muscles. And for you and me also. Because I don't want to lifelong keep counting your food. I want to train your appetite, make you gain muscles, train your body, train your metabolism. But in this metabolism, 70% is my internal metabolism. The next 30% goes to उसमें भी ज्यादा मुझे नीट पे काम करना है. नीट मतलब एक्सरसाइज के अलावा हिलना. सो गिव टारगेट्स टू बोथ ऑफ देम. 10,000 स्टेप्स. इसको एक्सरसाइज में मत गिनो. चलो घूमो, साइकिल करो, चल के आओ. ये एक्सरसाइज नहीं है. ये पहले जमाने में जो हमारे घर में मोबाइल्स एंड रिमोट्स एंड व्हीकल्स कम से कम थे, तब जो हालचाल होती थी वो आज जीरो हो गई. एंड दैट्स द कल्प्रिट फॉर अ वेट गेन. एंड 5 to 6 days a week एक्सरसाइज. एंड एक छोटा ग्रुप देख रहे हैं जो थर्मिक इफेक्ट ऑफ मील से, जो बोलता है कि ऐसे फूड खाओ जिससे बॉडी को ज्यादा मेहनत करना पड़े. इसमें पानी भी आता है. नेक्स्ट स्लाइड. पानी भी आता है, स्पाइसेस भी आते हैं, प्रोटीन्स भी आते हैं. Over to you, Dr. Sachin. I think I'll take over after you speak about it.
Thank you, Dr. Geeta ji, for such a wonderful insight. See, friends, very basic things we need to educate the patients. In this, like we have studied all these things, but during the course of practice, somewhere we miss these points. We focus on prescription. हम प्रिस्क्रिप्शन पे फोकस करते हैं. लाइक वी नीड टू गिव मेदोहर गुग्गुलु, नवक गुग्गुलु, त्रिकटु चूरन, त्रिफला चूरन, विडंगादिलो, विडंग चूरन, नवयासलो. All this, we focus more on prescription. Along with the prescription, it is very important to prescribe medicine. It is important. It is very important. Along with the prescription, pathya and apatya is equally important. Don't forget, friends, as people associated with medical science, medical field, medical fraternity persons, we need to educate the society. We need to educate the patients to follow Traya Upastamba. Aharam, Nidram, Vyayam. Actually, it is Vyavaya, but Vyavaya can or Brahmacharya can be taken as Vyayama. It is very important to advise them. Like as Dr. Geeta ji had said about Gratam, ghee, is essential fat which is required in the body. We cannot say patient to don't take ghee at all or don't take any absolutely fat-free diet. It is not advisable. It is not good because it will cause malnutrition of fat-soluble vitamins. Vitamin A, vitamin D, vitamin E, vitamin K, A, D, E, K. These are fat-soluble vitamins. For the bioavailability of these fat-soluble vitamins, essential fat is required. But culprit is not the fat. Culprit is not ghee. After consuming 1 or 2 teaspoons of ghee throughout the day, if the patient is not mobile, if the patient is not moving, if the patient is not doing exercise, if the patient is not doing energy expenditure, that is the cause, that is the culprit. I always say my patient, as sir, if you earn money, if you are earning, you deposit your earnings in bank, you will earn positive interest. When we earn money and deposit in bank, we earn positive interest. And if you earn energy, if you take energy, high fat diet or high protein diet or high carbohydrate diet, energy हम लेते हैं, and we deposit it. If the energy is deposited in the body, we get bad interest. That bad interest is giving invitation cards to lifestyle diseases like obesity, hypertension, dyslipidemia, cardiovascular disease, coronary artery disease, or liver disorders or renal disorders. So that is the way I educate my patients. So they understand, okay, we need to do energy expenditure. Energy expenditure can be done in numerous ways. That is the choice of patient, what the patient wants to do. And I'm very fortunate, we are very fortunate to understand about the knowledge of hand and the stomach. Like this is the size of tablespoon, this is the size of teaspoon, the size of chapati, roti. This is the way we can educate the people. And every time while planning the diet of the patient or educating the patient, please always emphasize on the ahara vidhi vidhan. Ushna ahar, snigdha ahar, na ati dhritam, na ati vilambitam. You should not be take the food very quickly and should not be very slow also. Uchit matra vidhi ahar. Ati ushnam lavanam tyajet. Too much of spicy here, spicy means the Chinese sauces, and lavanam, excess of salt, to be avoided. These all things has to be taken into consideration. Along with that, our acharyas have said that kukshim annen dvamshi, the 2 parts of the stomach should be filled with the annam. Vatam ekam puryet, 1 part should be left empty, 1/4 part of the stomach should be left empty for the air to get circulated. Ekam puryet dravam, 1 part should be filled with liquid diet. So that should be the concept of stomach. How much to eat and what to eat. So friends, now coming to the diet part. Every acharyas have emphasized on yava, jaw, that is barley, and venu yava. Venu yava is the bamboo seeds. As per Kaidavya Nigantu, Dhanya Varga, you can see on the side, it is Thaulya Vilekhanam, Vilekhnaha. It is beneficial for thoroughly a person and does the lekhana action, that is scraping action. Yavah kashayo madhura shitalo lekhano mraduha. Yavah kashaya madhura himasya katu vipake kapha pitta hari. So as per Bhav Prakash, as per Kaida Nigantu, as per Raj Nigantu, Charak Chikitsa, Charak Samhita, Yavasya Bhakshan Kapha Pramehi. Yavanam Vividhascha Bhaksha, in different forms, Yava or barley can be taken. Yavanam Kalpen Godhuma, Godhumasya Bhaksha means along with the wheat, Gehu, along with Godhuma, Yava is to be taken. That is the importance of Yava here. Means Yava, barley, is rich in fiber and causes scraping action. That is lekhana, scraping of the kapha, kleda shoshana, and meda prashamana. That means of his kashayaras pradhan. So Yava is good for managing the obesity. Next slide, please. Dr. Geeta will guide us here.
Similarly, what we thought, friends, is we will integrate these two areas. Like when your Ayurveda says it is good for health, modern dietetics also says the same thing. For us, it is food group. जैसे barley जो आप जव बोल रहे थे, that is हमारे लिए एक millet group है. उसको हम pearl millet बोलते हैं. And the things don't change much. But to just give you a brief understanding, millet, one, it is very good for my agricultural process where it requires less space, less management. So millet should be promoted at that end. But is it good on my gut? It is excellent on my gut because मुझे उससे फाइबर ज्यादा मिलता है, मुझे उससे न्यूट्रिएंट्स मिलते हैं, तुरंत शुगर में नहीं कन्वर्ट होता जो मेरा पोहा हो रहा है, इडली हो रहा है. दे आर ऑल सिंपल कार्बोहाइड्रेट्स, तुरंत खाते 1-1.5 घंटे में कन्वर्ट होता है. बट दीज आर होल ग्रेन्स. These give me just with one fist 90 calories. पेट भर जाता है इतना वो पकाया होल. जैसे बार्ली आप खिचड़ी बनाइए, आप उसका सूप में डालिए. So when you cook barley, you generally have a feeling of fullness. But look at the carbohydrates, look at the protein. They are very normal and you can't eat them more. ज्यादा नहीं खा सकते, तुरंत ब्लड ग्लूकोज में नहीं कन्वर्ट होता, अच्छे फाइबर है, तो ये कार्डियक, डायबिटिक और वेट के लिए सबसे बढ़िया है. बट इसका एक चैलेंज है, ऐसे ही बार्ली नहीं खा सकते. To get the best of nutrition from millets and lentils, we say soak it, you dry it, either you make a malt out of it, मतलब उसको पाउडर करो जिसको हम सत्व बोलते हैं, या उसको दलिया बनाओ. So ये दोनों फॉर्म से आप उस मिलेट को अपने डाइट में यूज कर सकते हैं. And when you add vegetable, make a upma out of it. When you add in soup, so it add fiber and protein. So हफ्ते में एक 3-4, as per the modern dietetics, we try to manipulate the diet. हफ्ते का प्रोटीन, हफ्ते के मिलेट्स, एक दिन वही खाना, वैरायटी की जरूरत होती है. नेक्स्ट स्लाइड. सो व्हेन वी प्लान अ डाइट, वी शुड बी लुकिंग एट समवेयर अ बैलेंस इन मील्स. एंड द सीड्स व्हिच वर सेड बाय डॉक्टर सचिन की आप बैम्बू सीड, बैम्बू तो बहुत ज्यादा क्यूजीन में, एशियन और ओरिएंटल क्यूजीन में आ जाता है. सीड्स, वो बैम्बू रहो या पंपकिन रहो या फ्लैक्स सीड रहो, जब सीड बोलते हैं तो कैलोरीज बहुत नहीं रहती, लेकिन उसमें ओमेगा 3 माइक्रो न्यूट्रिएंट्स, लेकिन पर्टिकुलरली बैम्बू में लाइसिन की कंटेंट ज्यादा रहती है. लाइसिन इज अ वेरी गुड एसेंशियल अमाइनो एसिड. अब हम बोलते हैं रोज 1-2 चम्मच सीड्स खाने में कोई दिक्कत नहीं है. इट गिव्स यू बैलेंस ऑफ माइक्रो न्यूट्रिएंट्स. ये सीड्स खाने से हमें काफी फाइबर भी मिल जाता है. बट चैलेंज क्या है, आप बहुत ज्यादा सीड नहीं खा सकते, क्योंकि बहुत ज्यादा कोर्स फाइबर खाने से, सिर्फ बार्ली खाने से पेट खराब हो सकता है. तो उसका एक कहीं ना कहीं क्वांटिफाई करके सीड्स को, नट्स को, मिलेट्स को, दो दे आर हेल्दी, वी वांट इट टू बी गट फ्रेंडली. बिकॉज इन आवर कल्चर टुडे जो हेल्दी है वो कितना भी खा सकते हैं. सलाद हेल्दी है तो बाउल भर के सलाद खा लो. हम बोलते हैं सलाद को कोशिम्बीर बनाओ, सूप बनाओ, सब्जी बनाओ, मेक इट इन अ फॉर्म वेयर यू कैन डाइजेस्ट इट. Similarly, food which is difficult to digest, though healthy, especially millets, दाल्स, उसको आप प्रोसेस करो. प्रोसेस मतलब घरगुती पद्धति से आप सोक करो, उसको ड्राई करो, रोस्ट करो, इसको माल्टिंग बोलते हैं. So this is how you can use these functional food, these important foods in your daily diet as per your modern dietetics therapy. Next. I think next is Dr. Sachin.
So friends, see, this is the beauty of integration. We were aware about Yava. Yava is a very important entity, the food entity Yava, which was suggested by all the acharyas for the management of Staulya or Medharog. But how do we use it? This is the way what we had learned from Dr. Geeta ji. It has to be in the form of dalia, or it has to be a little bit of soaked, and the quantity should be the one fist of mushti pramana. This is the thing. These are the things. This is integration. These are the things like this. We can manage the lifestyle disorders, and we will try that India should not become the capital of lifestyle disorders by year 2025. Another Dhanya Varga mentioned by almost all the acharyas like Bhavaprakash, Kaidavani Gantu, and Dharmantri Nigantu, Shodal and Nigantu is Kodo, Shamak, Nivar, and Priyangu. These are all Shukadani, means of lower category. They are Madhura Kashayaras Pradhan, Kodravo, Baddha Vinamutro, Vatalo, Lekhano, Laguha. You can make a note of this diet plan, please. Kodrava is Baddha Vinamutro, obstruction of fecal matter and obstruction of urine. In that condition, Kodrava is very good for Vatala conditions and increases. I mean, it does a Lekhana karma, and it is easy to digest. That is Laghu, as per Shodal and Nigantu. As per Bhavaprakash, Shamaka is also a Dhanya verb. Shamaka Shoshano, that is Kleda Shoshana. Kleda, Meda, and Kapha. These are the dosha and dushas for Medharoga. So Kshamaka does Shoshana of Kleda. It is Ruksha. It is Vatala, increased Vat, and Kapha Pitta Shamak, as per Bhavaprakash. Tranadhanyam, Laghu Ushnam, Katupakam Kashayakam, Lekhanam, as per Kaidava Nigantu, Trinadhanyas. All these Kodo, Shamak, Nivar, Priyangu, they are Lekhaniya. Madhur Ras Pradhan, Lekhaniya, and Ruksha. And Vrishyam increases Bala. And Kleda Shoshanam, very important, my friends. Kleda Shoshanam, Lekhanam. These two properties are needed for the management of Staulya, obesity. Priyangu. Priyangu is, it is Brahmaniya Guna, Guru. And there are types of Priyangu, that is Krishna, Rakta, and Shweta Priyangu, and Pita Priyangu, that is yellow. Yathottaram Pradhana. Ruksha Kafahara Smrita, that is the Kaidava Nigantu said, only remember that it is Ruksha and Kafahara. It is causes scrapping, causes Kleda Shoshan, and is Kapashamak. So these millets, Kodo, Shamak, Nivar, and Priyangu, is to be advised. When we say that, while planning the diet plan, we can say that you take rice, we take in the form of Shama Chawal, you take in the form of Navara rice, you take in the form of Purana Shali, Shashtika Shali. That can be suggested to the patient. Next slide, please.
So,
Dr. Geeta will help us.
Kodo and your foxtail millet, all these are now upcoming millets, and you will see them a lot in the markets. And yes, it is a healthy thing. The one challenge is, as I said, it is difficult to digest if you consume it in a very coarse form. So all the millets have been divided into major, minor, and pseudo millet. Pseudo millet means it's looked like millet, but it is not a millet. It is a seed, like kuttu, buckwheat, navratra. Many of us have it. It looks like wheat, but it is a pseudo millet. Rajgira, it's a seed. It's not a millet. But otherwise, you have jawar, bajra, nachli, which is a major millet, maximum consumed. Your minor millets like kodo, which is being mentioned. Your barnyard millet, which is bhagar or sanwa, and foxtail, and little millet. Next slide. So this is important, that millet is very good source of nutrition, fiber, good proteins, but cooking process needs to be well analyzed. Do not eat millets because it's healthy. Eat millets in the way it should be eaten. In porridges, in khichadis, in upmas, with curd, with malting, ragi malt, South Indians do have it. Sattu malt, East and North Indians have it. So we all have culturally have a process of malting. Malting matlab bigona, sukhana, usko sprout lana. इस processing का बहुत जरूरी है vegetarian food में, because vegetarian foods have an anti-nutrient called phytates. Just don't consume it because it's healthy. It should be consumed in the way it has to be eaten, especially cooked or soaked or sprouted, fermented. That's the best way your body can digest and absorb the millets. Next slide. Yeah, over to you, Doctor.
Thank you, Dr. Geeta ji. दोस्तों, friends, one more very important dietary aspect is kulthi, that is horse gram. In southern India, the people are more aware about it, but in northern part of India, the people are not that much aware about kulthi. We need to educate them that it is horse gram, it is kulthi. It looks like masoor, lentil, and little bit of blackish brownish color. It is Ushna Virya, Kashaya Ras, and Amla Vipaka. It's very important, and it has Bedaniya properties. Even in it has been mentioned in this one in calculus. Mutra Ashmari. In Medorog also, Kulthi plays a very important role. Kulatha, Katukaha, Pake Kashaya. Kashaya Ras Pradhan. Katupak. Pitta Rakta Krit. It increases Pitta and Rakta. Laghu, it is light. And Vidahi. Generate thermogenic effect. Vidahi means thermogenic effect. Thermogenic drugs and medications and diet, which causes liquefaction of the fat, that is Medasaha Pravilayanam. Vidahi Dravyas causes Medasaha Pravilayanam. It's Ushna Virya. Swash Kash Kapha Anila means it decreases or pacifies Swash Kash and Kapha Roga. Anti Hikka Ashmari Shukra Daha Anaha Pinasan. Sveda Sangrahako, that is very important. Where we have patients of obesity, adiposity, wherein they heavily perspire. That is Sveda Sangraha. Meda Jwara Krimihara Paraha. The straight stage. Meda Jwara Krimihara as per Bhava Prakash. So try the best to include Kulat in the dietary advice while managing the or educating the patient for obesity treatment. Kulatha Yusha, the Yush or soup of Kulat, as per Kaidava Nigantu, is Medo Ashmara Shakra Swashkas Tuni Pratituni Jit. Means it is helpful in the management of Meda, that is obesity. Ashmari, Shakra is Prameha. So that is the beauty of this Kulthi. As per Dhanvantari Nigantu, Ushnaha Kulatho, Rasatha Kashaya Katuvipake, Kapha Marutagnam, Kapha Vata Shamak. Anaha, where there is distension of the abdomen, bloating. Medo, obesity, and Aruchi. Visheshataha Vanya Kulthi. This variety of Kulat, that is Vanya Kulat, black horse gram. This is the property of usefulness of horse gram Kulthi. So always try to include Kulthi while suggesting diet for dietary management of obesity or Vedorog. Next slide, please.
Horse gram in modern dietetics is not actually promoted. बहुत ज़्यादा नहीं promote किया. Challenge क्या है? Ayurveda gives beautiful examples of which one. कौन सा? Modern dietetics कौन सा में नहीं आता? Food groups it has made that pulses is good for you. Millets, cereals. So it has made a food group and it has highlighted how much of each nutrient to be had. If I have to highlight kulit or horse gram in terms of modern dietetics, for me, it is a protein. It is a fiber. It is a carbohydrate of a complex nature. And it helps my good lysine in my diet. But how does it score over other lentils? You'll have urad, you'll have masoor, which Dr. Sachin is speaking now. For me, all are dals. I'll make it very simple, friends. Dal, split dals. Jo hum log tur dal, ahar dal, masoor dal, moong dal. Easy to cook and easy to digest. But still, I want you to soak before you cook it. Second category, horse gram, whole moong, whole matki. So all that chole, rajma, those need to be soaked overnight and well cooked and should be eaten as per the digestibility issues. Nutrition wise, all same. Digestion wise, if I process it beforehand, it means the same. But some dals in some areas core, usme if you look at horse gram or kulit, which we are discussing as per Ayurvedic now, it is iron. It else because I'm increasing the iron in the dal by soaking, processing, cooking, eating with dal or eating with rice. So I'm combining the food with my other grains. So it helps. It's very good antioxidant. It has good amount of potassium and phosphorus. So if I have kidney stones or if I have, I need to diurete like for thyroid, we always say that this food has a better diuretic property. You can always have it. This is how we try to promote this part of lentils. Next slide.
Thank you, Dr. Geetaji. So that is the beauty, friends. See, 7 grams of iron is mentioned and was said by Dr. Geetaji. We have got Ayaskritam. Ayaskritam is very good medicine for Medaroga and Prameya because it does the Kleda Shoshan, it does the Medohara properties, it have Medohara properties. So Kulti is good for that. Then another is Chanaka, that is Chana Dal. Chanakam Kafarogeshu Pachana Ati Shakritkaraha. Ati Shakritkara means it causes the bulkiness of the stool. It forms the stool properly. And Kafarogeshu, it does the Kafa Shaman. Katupak is Katu Vipaki, Kashaya Ras and Swad, Madhur Ras. Adman Janano, it causes distension of the abdomen. That means it is heavy to digest. So where we want to achieve the satiety, if the patient of obesity have a problem of overeating, repeated, frequent eating, varam eating, in that case, Chanaka can be advised because it induces satiety. Ruksha, it is Ruksha in nature, and Medo Hridvatalo Laguhu. It is for the Medaroga. It does the shaman of Meda as per Shodala Nigantu. As per Rajanigantu, you can say that Chanako Madhuru Ruksho. Mehajit. Mehajit means in Prameha. Prameha is also Kleda, Medha, and Kafa Jarog. Medorog or Saulya is also Kleda, Medha, and Kafaroga. So Chanaka is good for that. Saulya Ashmari Dosha Vinashakari Kachaya Isa Katu Viryakari. That is the properties of Chanak. Masoor dal. Masoor lentil also dal also causes rukshata. Masuro lepane vrannyo, which is good for lepana purpose. For vranya, it can be used for reducing coloration to the skin as for cosmetic purpose. Ruksha, it's ruksha. Baddhamalo, that means it clears the channels, clears the intestines. In last line, you can see Kashayo Madhuro Medo Hanta. Medo Hanta. That means it is good for the obesity. Next slide, please. Tur dal. That is Arahar. Adaki. It is called as Adaki. Meda Shleshma Asra Pitteshu Hitta. It is good for Meda and Shleshma as per Dhanvantari Nigantu. Moong dal. That is Mudga. Mudga Ruksha Lagu Grahi. It is Ruksha, Lagu, and Grahi. Kapha Pitta Haro. It causes shaman of Kapha and Pitta. So it is also good for Shoshana purpose. It is also good for Kleda Shoshak. It is Lagu in Pachan. So it is good for reducing the weight. That is Medorog. Next slide, please. Madhu. Friends, all the acharyas have mentioned about Madhu. Navam Madhu Bhavet Pushtesha Nati Shlesh Maharan Saram means the Nava Madhu, the Madhu which is of recent origin, Nati Shlesh Maharam, that doesn't cause Kapha Shaman. Purana Grahakam Ruksham Medhom Ati Lekhanam, Puranam, the old honey, the Purana honey. Purana honey means at least a year old. Purana Madhu, as per Baishija, is 1 year old minimum. Is Ati Lekhanam, having supreme Lekhaniya properties, scrapping action, Medha Shamak. एक संवत्सरे व्रते पुराणत्वं स्मृतं बुधे. Mahaprakash says that ek samvatsare means 1 year old. Madhu is Purana Madhu. Charaka Samhita says that Karshyartha Stula Dehanam Shastam Madhu Udakam. It is Madhu Udakam. Honey water. Here warm. Udakam means Ushna Jal. We get the reference in Charaka Samhita Sutra San Adhyaya 27. It says that Madhu Udakam, the warm water with honey, is good for Stula Dehanam. For obese person who is having Stula Deha. Shastam, it is very good for that. Causes Karshyartham. The person who want to achieve good body weight, appropriate body weight for a stool person should take Ushna Jal with Madhu. Next slide, please. Dr. Geeta ji.
Without taking much time here, I have very small contribution to do in honey. Lot of confusion. See, every slide is a topic by itself. आप मेरे को आधा घंटा बोलने बोलो, मैं एक slide पे बोलते जाऊंगी. But we should talk today about obesity and replacing sugar for honey or replacing anything for honey from calorie management point of view. So somewhere we need to start looking at honey. For me is fructose and sucrose. The fruitness of fructose is more than sucrose. So 1 teaspoon sugar ka fruitness, sweetness, half teaspoon honey mein aa jata hai. So in the same pattern, I reduce my calorie intake if I use honey. That's the only difference in calorie management. From nutrition point of view, definitely it's better than sugar. It's not refined. But my challenge in today's world of honey is the adulteration and the pure honey management, which we get it. That's where we look at it. Otherwise, there's not much difference from honey and other areas. It's only the calorie management. Next slide and over to sir.
Laja, everyone knows, friends, Laja is puffed rice. It is also very laghu and does the Kleda Shoshana, Kapha Medohara. Next slide, please. So here the summarization is Katu, Tiks and Kashaya Ras Pradhan Dravyas causes Meda Kshaya, Kapha Kshaya and Kleda Shoshana. Next slide, please. Buttermilk, Takra. Here, all the acharyas have mentioned about Takra Arish, specifically Acharya Charak in Sutra Sana, Adhyaya 27. Takra Arish is buttermilk. It is good for Agni. It is Agni Vardhak and does the Kleda Shoshan and Meda, because of its Rukshata, it causes Meda Kshaya. Then Sura, that is Jeena Madhya. Here it is fermented liquid. Eggplant, Vartaku, that is called as brinjal. Eggplant is Vatapittaharam Vrisham Sthulam. Ati Agni Phala means it is very good for Sthula person. Laghu Deepam, Kapha Medo Anila Hara. Kapha Meda Anila Hara. This brinjal. Next slide, please. Triphala, we all are aware about Triphala. Triphala is Shreshth Aushadhi for Kleda, Shoshan, and Kapha Pitta, Shamaka, and even Vatahara also. Gugulo is Kashayaras, Katuvipak. Everyone is aware about it. It is very good for Meda Roga. Loha Basma, Kanta Basma, it is good for Meda Kshaya and Kleda Shoshan. Next slide, please. Trikatu, Count Marich and Tipali, it is having thermogenic effect. It induces heat in the body, generates heat, which causes Kapha Pravilayanam, Medasa Pravilayanam, and Kleda Shoshanam. So Trikatu is good. Sharshapataila is Kapha Vatagno. It increases Rakta and Agni, Rakta and Pitta. So Sarshapatil, mustard oil is good, but obviously the quantity should not be Ati Sarvada Varjit. Ela is again mentioned, it is Katurasa and Laghu Guna Yukta. Kapha Medahara. Next, please. Tila Taila, again it is said that Tila Taila is Medorogan and it's Medohara by virtue of its Madhura and Kashayaras and Ushnavirya. And Shaka, that is all leafy vegetables. They are indicated because they are Laghu, Ruksha and Kaphavata Shamak. So they should be included in the diet. Next slide, please.
So put more colors in your diet, put more antioxidants. So there are a lot of vegetables which gives you colors, and you can see them in the following table where red, yellow, green, your Tiranga color. Next slide has a lot of antioxidants, anthocyanins, isoflavonoids. So they do contribute, like Dr. Sachin was talking about specific foods, but in modern dietetics, we talk about antioxidants, flavonoids, which comes in the color of the food, the pigments of the food, the natural colors of the food. Next slide, and over to Dr. Sachin.
Shilajit is also a very important dravya which is mentioned in almost all the texts. That Shilajam Katu Tikta Ushna Katupaka Rasayanam Chedi, it is Chedaniya, it's having Chedana Guna and Yogavaham, and it does Hanti or the Shamana of Kafa Meda Ashma Chakra. That is Kafa Shamak, Medohara, Ashmarihara, and Chakra, that is Pramehara. Next, please. Ushnajal, Ushnavdak. Ushnavdak is also, it is mentioned in Charakdar Samhita that it is Chaturtha Amsha or Ardha Amsha. If a glass of water is boiled and reduced to half, a glass of water and boiled and reduced to 1/4, that Ushnavdakam is good for Shleshmam Amavata Medogram. Thus the Kafaharam, Shleshmaharam, that is Kafaharam, is good for Amavata and Medhogram, that is Medohara. And Vasti Shodhana Deepanam, that is, he also purifies the or does the flushing of urinary system and is good for Deepan. Next, please.
So nothing much to say in modern dietetics. 75% of our body is made of water. We need to hydrate. मेरा एक ही लाइनर टिप है यहाँ से, सब कुछ सबको पता है. Check your urine color. It should be crystal clear white in color. That shows how hydrated you are, because hydration depends upon your environment, exercise, and end of the areas. Keep checking your urine color, not the morning one, throughout the day. It tells you if it's white, it's adequately hydration. Next slide.
So, dosto, to summarize, we have got Varnadi Kashayam is specifically indicated for Medo Rog, that is Varnadi Kashayam, as per Sahasra Yogam. Next slide.
So thank you for being so patiently with us. I understand human concentration is only 15-20 minutes, and being with us for 45 minutes to 1 hour makes a lot of impact on your time management and the attention focus. So what I wanted to tell is food is an information. Talk to yourself, integrate these two dietetics, knowledge together, and apply it on your patients and yourself, because now food should be looked as happiness, comfort, along with nutrition. So food is information, and let's integrate these two sciences to make the best of its use to our therapeutic science. Thank you so much again for being patient with us. Namaskar.
Thank you, Doctor. And when I was listening to your presentation, in front of there's a calendar which says a wonderful quote. When diet is wrong, medicine is of no use, and when diet is correct, medicine is of no need. So it's a fantastic quotation.
Agreed.
It was just a quotation that I read. I'll share it with you. And this topic is one of the closest to my heart, because this is related to health, a healthy lifestyle, a lot of things. It is attached to your gut health, actually. So, and thank you so much, Doctor. It has been a wonderful presentation, and Dr. Sachin, you have really added a lot of good things in terms of Ayurveda, and Dr. Geeta, you have added a lot of things on the modern things. I believe our attendees have given a great, noted down a lot of insights. So, आज हम कुछ नया करेंगे, Doctor. So, I will gonna open the table for the attendees who can ask verbal questions from you. So, we'll take 2 to 3 questions. And attendees, I would like to request you to raise your hand. Whoever will pick up randomly, will pick up people who wants to ask questions to Dr. Geeta or Dr. Sachin, and they can verbally interact. Rather, we call out a couple of questions. I would like anybody to raise their hands. We will give them the permission to talk. Dr. Rasik Mohan Srivastav. So, Doctor, I've given you the permission to talk. You can ask your question. Dr. Rasik?
I think you have to ask him to unmute, please.
Dr. Rasik, you can unmute yourself. Dr. Rasik? Dr. Rasika Sonaji, you can unmute yourself.
Yes, sir.
Dr. Rasika, can you ask your question?
No, sir. No, sir.
Dr. Rasika?
Hi, sir. Hi, yes, sir.
Dr. Rasik, can you ask your question?
No, sir. No, sir.
Okay, doctor. Dr. Rasika, would you like to ask a question? There are a lot of people who are raising hands. So I believe there's some issue. So let's do one thing. Let's take a couple of questions, doctor. A lot of people have asked that in differing concept of having a large meal in morning and small in night, they are trying themselves, but they want to know the scientific reason and benefits of having large meal in the morning and the small meals in the night.
So if you ask me, there's nothing large and small. Your stomach size doesn't change over day. So
Correct.
appetite should be same. What changes is the nutrient composition. आपको समझना इतना जरूरी है कि मुझे एनर्जी जब चाहिए तब कार्ब मील खाऊंगा, जब एनर्जी नहीं चाहिए तब प्रोटीन और फाइबर खाऊंगा. Fat remains as a palatability, happiness, feel good factor. So oil, ghee is a part of your meal. उसको आप change मत कीजिए. So if you ask me large meal कौन सा करूंगा, if you are sitting throughout the day, you've no work, then make it as a brunch and a supper. If you are moving, you're a teacher, you're a policeman, or you are into an active job, then thoda breakfast kijiye. Your breakfast can be normal, your Indian breakfast, but add a protein to it. But if you want to eat breakfast and you're sitting throughout the day, then I would say एक बाउल ले लो आप, बाउल में आप दूध में कुछ oats डाल लो, राजगिरा flakes डाल लो, not cornflakes and muesli. They are not very good breakfast. So try to balance your nutrition from morning to night. Dinner आप दाल में चावल डालो. One thing was go to recipe क्या है, तो खिचड़ी is go to recipe for a दाल चावल, and मूंग दाल की खिचड़ी is go to recipe. Easy one dish meal and one bowl meal, and that is what I think we should start putting from plate to bowl, because हमारी quantitative approach for carbohydrate should be reduced because energy output ही कम है.
Okay, doctor. Dr. Sachin, there's a question for you. If like somebody is asking that if a person gains the weight due to hormonal balance, then what is the treatment?
There is no actually differentiation between gaining weight due to hormonal balance or whatsoever the reason may be. Hormonal balance or lifestyle disorder, it is one and the same thing. The approach, the dietary management will not change there, and the therapeutic management will almost be same. We need to do Kleda Shoshana, we need to Medha Shamak do Medha Shamak Chikitsa, and we need to do Kapahara Chikitsa. The only thing is, in the Samprapti of Medha Roga, it is mentioned that due to Medavaha Sroto Dushti, Uttara Dhatu Poshana is not there. After Med, Asti, Majja and Shukra Dhatu, all these three Dhatus, they are not getting nourishment. Because of that, they get, we have different problems of Asti Dhatu, that is vitamin D deficiency, there is nutritional deficiency, bone mineral density is low, and people get that is low loss of energy, low energy, tiredness, letharginess, weakness, and even Shukra Daurbalya, that is impotency. That is because of the further Uttara Dhatu is not getting nourished. In any case, be it the causative factor, maybe the hormonal imbalance or the lifestyle disease or the Asya Sukham, Sapna Sukham or the dietary things. This has to be managed by means of Chikitsa, Medhara, Kapha-shamak, Kleda Shoshana, and Ahara, Nidra, and Vyayam. This has to be done. Unless it is achieved, unless it is done, we cannot achieve success in Medha Rog management.
So there's another very good question, I believe. So Dr. Sachin and Dr. Geeta can both आप दोनों ही उसको जवाब दे सकते हैं. In my daily practice, I have seen many patients with diabetes 2 on RX regularly. They're working on enough exercises, follow good diet rules, and they're also having good physique, but they are still suffering from uncontrolled sugar levels. So how can we help them? I think so. There's one of the doctors who is asking, and they are saying that this is in the very young age of group of 30s and 40s. So this question, I think so, is on the current situation, current problem which is related. So this is a very good question.
Okay, can I take the question first, Sachin sir?
Yes, ma'am, please.
Okay. we call this, thank you, doctor, it's a wonderful question. It is thyroid, diabetes, all this endocrine illness which has no answer. There's something called as allostatic load. Matlab, underlying factors are too much. First blamer now is circadian rhythm. Your chrononutrition plays a lot of importance. Your sleep and your food timings need to be regulated. Second challenge is there's a lot of stress in your body, a lot of oxygen generation. The reason can be anything. The reason can be environment, the stress, the sleep, the food, the time of eating, the volume of eating, the outside food. So you can't pinpoint one. We called it under lifestyle. And the amount of antioxidants in your diet are very, very less. So the neutralizing oxidant to antioxidant levels are not there. Then we say take some vitamins, take some phytonutrients. So you need to upgrade your antioxidants at the same time circadian rhythm. So this, I think, is many a times culprit for your internal endocrine or hormonal or your neurotransmitters to play a great role in management of your blood glucose. It is not 1 + 1 2 in hormones and neurotransmitters. It's absolutely the way your rhythmic body clock starts moving with time, with food, the antioxidants, and number of areas. This is from my side. Over to you, doctor.
See, the question is actually very relevant question and very good question. We do face such challenges in clinical practice, but here we need to analyze much more in deeper way. There are types of pramehas, pramehi mentioned, Krisha pramehi, Stula pramehi. As per Vaya, Varga, that is what's the age of the patient. Stula pramehi is easy to manage, that is Sukhasadhya. Krisha pramehi is difficult to manage. Because there we cannot go for Kleda Shoshana and Kafa and Vedahara Chikitsa. Stula pramehi is easy to manage because here we can do Kleda Shoshana, Kafa and Vedahara Chikitsa. So that has to be analyzed exactly what is the status of the patient. Second thing is, always do remember, friends, in clinical practice, it is not necessary that what we ask the patient communicates exactly the same or exactly what we say that the current state. He or she, knowingly or unknowingly, may be having certain nidanas which are contraindicated, which has been suggested not to follow that. Knowingly or unknowingly, the patient might be following that. So we need to probe much deeper. We need to probe exactly the diet, the lifestyle, the routine, the vyayam, the ahar, all this, and manasic factors also. My friends, there is a brain tsunami. As there is tsunami in the sea when there is earthquake, similarly there is brain tsunami. Kama, krodha, lobha, moh, maya, ichha, dvesh, stress, tension, anxiety, fear, depression. All these manobhavas, they causes electromagnetic waves in the brain, that is called as brain tsunami, which is a causative factor for psychosomatic problems, specifically like diabetes as well, because it is an endocrine disorder. So that has also to be analyzed. Accordingly, we can try to manage the patient. And always remember, every time 1 + 1 may not be 2. We may not succeed in every case. There may be so many causes for that.
There is Mr. Sashi Tiwari. Sashi, you can ask your question. I've given you the permission to ask.
हाँ जी, गुड इवनिंग एवरीवन. गुड
Hello,
इवनिंग
ma'am.
सर, गुड इवनिंग मैम. जैसे अग्निमांद होता है जहाँ पर डाइजेशन नहीं प्रॉपर है या प्रोटीन डाइजेस्ट नहीं कर पाते क्योंकि प्रोटीन का डाइजेशन होता है, फिर वहां पर ओबेसिटी कैसे मैनेज करेंगे? क्योंकि मेजॉरिटी लोग को जो प्रॉब्लम है ओबेसिटी का जो रूट कॉज है, एक्चुअल रूट कॉज तो अग्निमांद है ना.
यस शशि जी, आपका सवाल बिल्कुल सही है. इट इज वेरी राइट. सो द आंसर इज इटसेल्फ इन द क्वेश्चन. सो हियर द कल्प्रिट इज अग्निमांद्य. प्राय सर्वे रोगाणां सूत्रामुद्राणि, all the disorders are because of अग्निमांद्य, because अग्निमांद्य उष्मणो अल्पफलत्वेन धातु माध्यम उपचितम्.
जी सर.
दुष्टम आम्म प्रत्यक्षते, रसम आम्म प्रत्यक्षते. The first dhatu which is found by the अग्निमांद्य is दुष्टम आम्म रक्षम, दुष्ट आम्म रस. So here Agni-mandya is to be corrected first by means of Katu Tikta Kashaya Ras. When we go for Agni correction, here we need to analyze, Shashiji, it is Jatra Agni-mandya is the prime culprit. Along with Jatra Agni, there might be even Dhatu Agni-mandya.
Yeah.
So before correcting the Dhatu Agni-mandya, we need to correct the Jatra Agni by means of Katu Tikta Kashaya Ras and Vyayam. Vyayam is utmost important. Ahara, obviously, we will prescribe the diet. Nidra, circadian cycle, as Dr. Gita said, is very important. And Vyayam, it is very important. As well as Agni correction is to be done. Then we will be in the position to manage this pramehi or this obesity.
So if you ask dietetics, what will I do in such case? I will say
डाइट अगर हम बोल भी देते हैं
शशि जी, मैं मेरा एक लाइनर पॉइंट
Yes, ma'am.
बता दूंगी कि डाइटेटिक्स पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू हम बोलते हैं प्रोटीन को ज्यादा ईज ऑफ डाइजेशन से खाओ, दूध मत पियो, दही खाओ, दाल भिगो के खाओ, उसको आप मूंग दाल का चिल्ला करके खाओ. So more of proteins in a very easy and digestible form, vegetables in easy and digestible forms, and fat which is very easy to use like तड़के वाला तेल और ऊपर से घी. Fried fruits and spicy and masala हम नहीं देते. And calorie manage karke, we'll try to make it as a calorie control diet from modern dietetics point of view.
Ma'am, can we take one more question?
Yeah, I'm okay,
so
sir.
Dr. Rohini, you can ask your question. Dr. Rohini? Dr. Rohini, can you hear us? I think so. There is some issue. No problem, doctor. So I'll just pick out a couple of more questions. We'll take one or two questions again. Somebody, Muhammad Arif is asking, protein is better than carbohydrate or carbohydrate is better than protein by which property? How can I choose protein or carbohydrates? Total carbohydrate is needed to avoid every time.
Carbohydrates should be complex. They are needed. They are your fiber. Your gut needs them. Your gut flora needs them. So you can't minus it from the diet. Every meal will have carbohydrate, but in a more complex form. Matlab, combine the carb with protein and a fiber, so your carbs don't get converted into blood glucose. If you remember, 50% of your diet is protein, is carbohydrate. Now, 15% of your diet is proteins. Now, proteins are a very small part of the diet because difficult to digest. At the same time, too much protein body doesn't want. It just says, give me only essential amino acids. Use me or throw me. So your kidney will have a larger load if you only eat proteins in your diet. Proteins are also inflammation. Proteins are also thermogenic. बहुत ज़्यादा animal food खाना, बहुत ज़्यादा दाल और sprouts खाना spoils your gut. So make a base of carbohydrates which is complex and add a protein to it and a fiber to it. So it's very easy to understand from a vegetable, from eat well plate. आप एक eat well plate को देखो, आधा plate सब्जी से रहता है, 1/4 plate carbohydrate से रहता है, and 1/4 plate हमारा protein से रहता है. So it's very simple 50-25-25 rule where 50 is your fiber, 25 is your carbs and 25 is your proteins. This is how an eat well plate is defined.
Dr. Geeta, Dr. Sachin, एक question और लूंगा. ये I think so it's a very important question. Dr. Netravati ने question पूछा है, how genetically caused obesity is to be cured?
See, I do a lot of nutrigenomics, and genes are only 10% of your health. Epigenetics is 90%. You're born with set of genes. You can't change the genes. If you have a tendency of obesity, you have a gene which gives you a fat gain, which gives all the food what you eat gets converted into adipose tissues. मैं जो खा रही हूँ सब fat में चले जा रहा है. ये आपकी tendency है. You have no choice. You've been born with that. Now the challenge is change the environment. What is the environment? Be more mindful, be more controlled, move more. So genetic is not always 100%. You can always postpone the prognosis. You can always make a changes so that you can prevent it. Prevention and postponing can be done with the help of epigenetics. Genes is 10%, 90% is your body. So let's change our mind, because हमें मालूम है कल मुझे डायबिटीज मेरे फैमिली में है तो मैं शक्कर नहीं खाऊंगी. Already आदमी decide कर लेता है. You don't have to really give a counseling to them. So you try to modify your own intake, because you have to change the environment on the gene and make it as epigenetic modification. We can switch on and switch off the genes. If you want to switch on, you follow in discipline, you switch on. If you want to switch off, follow a discipline, you switch off. The choice is ours. There's
the same thing mentioned in Ayurveda as well. Like as we had seen while discussing the Nidanas of Atisthaulia or Medaro, it was mentioned as Bija Swabhavat, that is genetic. If in the genes, in the family, if obesity is running, we cannot change the Bija Swabhava. We cannot, Bija Swabhava means prone to certain diseases. Swabhav. Bija Swabhav. If parents are obese or grandparents are obese, the kid, the progeny will have Bija Swabhav for Nedorog. Now it is up to us, as Dr. Geeta said, it is up to us. We want to attain or we want to detain. We want to attain obesity, don't follow Ahara, Nidra and Vyayam. Then definitely due to Bija Swabhava, we will have obesity. If we want to detain, if we don't want to have Veda Roga and all, right from the beginning, go for a balanced and disciplined diet, Nidra, circadian cycle, and Vyayam. Definitely there would be obesity, and if at all, because of Bija Swabhava, if there is certain, if the body is heavy, but at least we will be able to avoid the complications of obesity.
So Dr. Geeta, we have many questions. So I will be taking a couple of questions off the line. I'll be sharing a couple of questions which have been posted. So I will share that with you so that I can share those answers with all the people who have shared with us. So because of lack of time, we won't be able to take a lot of questions. So let's pass on now. Let's another 10 minutes we're going to spend. I will now invite Mr. Puneet Endle. So he is the Vice President Sales of Kerali Ayurvedic Products. So he's going to talk a brief about the product lines, about the group, and how this session can complement, and what all products we have that complements to this session, and how really doctors can collaborate with us. Over to you, Puneet. Puneet, you have 5 minutes, sir.
Sure. Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Geeta. Thank you, Dr. Sachin, for a wonderful session. Let me introduce Kerali Ayurvedic Products as one of the leading manufacturer and of Ayurvedic medicines. We have a complete range of Ayurvedic proprietary medicines, classical medicines, and in fact, we have a good range of products which will complement you in treating the obesity and fat management and weight management. So we have a proprietary capsule called Lipidex. Along with that, we have a combination of Kashai called Varanadi Kashai, which is generally given under a doctor's prescription to the patients for their fat control and fat management. And there are other external use powders like Udvartanam and other churnams available for external massages used by the Panchakarma clinics to control obesity and weight management. We have a complete range of other medicines also, like pain. We have Kashaya, Arishtasaf, Churnam, Gritham. Plus, we white label these medicines for the doctors as well as other companies who wish to introduce these products to their customers in their brand name. So Kerali works in hand for giving a turnkey solutions to doctors and a lot of corporates to introduce their products in the market and help the world through the Ayurvedic treatments. And like Dr. Sachin also said, that just by not eating will not reduce your weight or your fat. You need to have a balanced diet. You need to have a complete controlled diet. So please follow what the doctors are saying. Use these therapies in your treatment practices and give a world a fat-free environment. So Rishabh, you can take over. I thank all the participants and all the doctors and the panelists. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Puneet, and thank you so much for sharing all the information. We will be now, I hope everybody has joined the Telegram group where we all collaborate together and communicate with each other. So we will be announcing the winners who have asked the best questions over the group. Plus, we will also give all the certificates to all the attendees who have attended this session today. So I believe you guys, everybody have liked this session, taken a lot of insights from this session. I've shared a survey form which everybody can fill this up. This will help us in improving, in having a lot of good feedbacks from you all, and so that we can come up with some more new topics and some more new things to talk about. I would like to thank Dr. Geeta. Thank you so much, ma'am, for taking out the time and giving us a lot of great insights. Thank you, Dr. Sachin. It has been a great session. Modern and Ayurveda integrating both has been complementing. We all are complementing each other. So thank you so much. And I would like to now just end the session. And we will look forward for the new webinar in the next month probably. Thank you so much, and have a nice day, and see you again. Thank you. Thank you.